interaction, like having to you
outside of work. Even then, she hates work.
You know what it is for me? You know what my autism is?
What?
I hate social interaction. Like, if I could have avoided y'all that day in Target, I probably would have walked the other direction. But because we were walking right towards y'all, it was too late to turn around. Like, I've run into people. Do you know how many times I see Ty at the gym? I'm like, I just don't want to have a conversation right now. I'm so autistic to the point of like, if I feel like you're disrupting what I had planned already, I'm not gonna do it because I don't want to disrupt my plan. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And then like the worst for me is I can't have small talk. I suck at small talk like that. Like I genuinely like dread it, and something inside of me like hates it with a passion.
Really? I feel like this whole podcast is just small talk.
No, the opposite. The opposite. So small talk is like, oh, so how's your day? How's the weather? But I don't care about that. Notice how our first episode we jump right into Epstein. What's the hot shit? You know.
I talk to people the same pretty much. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so if we were talking about Epstein, I'll probably could talk about Epstein with them. Right?
That's what I mean. And it's like I hate like having to like get to know you first. Like I want to get to know what you're like, what you think about politically first.
You're cooked.
And like get to know like
you gotta warm it up.
What first. Childhood trauma are you trying to like?
Oh my god, what is wrong with you, dude? Take him out to dinner,
bro.
First.
I'm telling you, it's like the worst kind of autism. Like I genuinely like.
You hate small. Honestly, I hate it has the time and the place. There's sometimes there's someone small time you just like.
Dreading it, like this is the worst thing possible.
Like, let's speed this up. No, but small talk. No, I think like I said, it has its time and its place.
Yeah,
I think I'm good at telling people what they want to hear. You know what I mean? Like when you talk to someone, I feel like you can usually tell what they want to talk about or like listening. Like I think it has time and place. Like, but sometimes you're just like, God, please, like you're trying to go home or something, and someone's like, hey man, and you're like, please God.
No, but for me, it's like even at events, like I'll do a couple corporate events because of my job.
Yeah.
And then when I'm at these events, it's like I might meet somebody and be like, hey, nice to meet you. And then like they're like, oh, how long have you been working? How long have you been doing this? And I'm like, okay, that's cool and stuff. Like I don't dread. Sometimes it's literally just they're trying to force a conversation. Like, oh, so like who do you know here? Like, well,
I mean, it's better than just being like,
no, I'm
not saying that.
But you know what's even better for me? Yo, so what'd you think about what Trump just said yesterday?
But that's so inflammatory.
I'm into it. Like I'm right there. I'm like, oh yeah, actually, this is what I felt. And like,
that's how people start shooting up the spot. You know what I mean? Like, you saw who we just got. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying. It's like there's so many inflammatory subjects with those kinds of things. If you go to a corporate event, everybody, you say Palestine, Israel, you might get slimed.
Yeah.
You might get slimed.
Bro, you know the last like big corporate event I did was in this event space in Hoboken.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
You're in the city.
Yeah, it was a corporate event for what's that? It's like an insurance company. I was filming. They're like an insurance company. I was filming a corporate event for them, and this was during the debate, Kamala and Trump. And I'm telling you, like, I hated every second of like wasted time. Like, this is why I think the pod is good, because I just get it all out here. I hated every second of us not talking about like what's going on right now in like during this event, you know?
Or you got to read your audience.
Depending
on like you gotta it's like, you know, that's what I think small talk is good for. Depending on what they say and how they say it, you could kind of know what you could say to certain people.
True.
It's like when you see somebody be like, what's up, my brother? People are like, hello, sir. Nice to meet you. You know?
It's reading the room.
You gotta read the room right, and you can see what will pass or not.
You know what I mean?
No, some people are just like, wait a minute, I gotta stay away from you. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What's that in the back of your car?
You're so dumb, right?
What's that flag?
But sometimes it really is like that. Like that's like they have very obvious signs of what like party they lean. And honestly, depending, like some people like have like full MAGA stuff. And I know you're not just Republican. You're like a part of this cult.
Like, I'm just sitting there like, I'm gonna avoid this. Yeah. Like some people are like, you know, they're very, you know, they gotta do this and they gotta do that. I just go, sounds about right.
What do you do in that situation? Let's say somebody like, okay, let me give you an example first, then I want to hear what you would do. So the example is I was talking at like this just to like save face with this client, you know. I was filming with these clients, and I'm having this conversation with person A at the shoot. And I'm like, I don't even know how we got onto the topic, but I basically was telling them like, oh, I'm a pretty moderate person. Like I tend to like understand both sides and try to like find like a middle ground, but also try to like come up with my own opinion. And then I was like, so I can see like some people why they would like Kamala. I could see why some people like Trump. You know, it really depends on who I'm talking to. And that's me in person A talking. Then person B walks up and person B goes, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Honestly, I can't even have this conversation because if you don't downright support Trump, I fucking hate your guts. What do you do in that situation? Do you just like kind of go, oh, yo, I kind of get it. Like, all right, you know, or do you like try to argue and go, well, actually, I think.
See, that's the thing. It depends. But if I'm at work,
yeah,
the bread comes first. I'm not going to sit here and sell out.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to hide my interest. If I find something interesting, I'll be like, I still find that interesting. But for the most part, I'd be like, I can see where you're coming from. I'm going to sit there and just be like, okay, yeah, I see what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Because I'm not trying to, I'm not going to have this battle here.
Yeah.
I think there's a time and a place to argue politically.
Yeah.
And sometimes with the people that pay you and stuff like that, I'm just going to, I'm going to rock with what I'm rocking with. I'm going to sit there and be like, you know what? I see your point. I'm not going to say that I agree with it.
It's gonna be
or
like,
disagree.
Right.
I just go, that's a valid point.
Yeah.
Actually, I was reading this book. Well, I still am reading this book. I'm trying to read this book.
Wait, let's pause for a second. Well, not even pause. You can keep
camera
going.
Camera
I'm just gonna check the cameras real quick because I don't remember if I clicked record. But you're good.
All right. I was reading this book, or I'm attempting to read this book. I'm only on page like 6. I'm trying. I'm working on it.
That's progress. Yeah.
That's a different. I'm trying to. I listen to audiobooks, but then I sit there and I go, you know what? Let me try to actually exercise.
Yeah.
I'm doing bad, but I'm trying.
Yeah, you're trying. That's all that matters.
So I'm reading this book called The ISIS Papers by Dr. Francis Cresswell Singh.
Okay.
And, I walk into the office to drop off my paperwork. So I drop off my paperwork and I guess they see the book because he told me to come inside because we talk about computers sometimes.
Okay.
So he saw my book and said, oh, what is that book about? And, I explained to him what it's about. It's more so about like race relations and a psychologist's interpretation of what's going on in society. And
who the fuck are you?
He definitely, you can see the uncomfortability and he definitely did not agree with the book itself. But simply, I just said, you know what? I see where you're coming from, but I still find it interesting. And then I left it at that and I left.
Yeah, that's smart. That's smart.
Because I'm not gonna sit here and be like, you're 100% right, massa. But I'm also not gonna sit here and be, and say, oh yeah, I don't find it interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna die on the hill, but like, hey man, you don't say that. It's like, hey, that's your opinion. I respect that.
You can have
and
it.
I'm leaving it at that.
Yeah.
I have no fight here. I'm not getting paid. I'm not getting paid to argue with you, man.
Yeah.
So, if you think that book is dumb, hey, that's your opinion. You don't gotta read it. And then I leave.
See, do you feel any like responsibility? I don't even want to use the word responsibility, but do you feel like because you are black that's a part of like something that you have to do? Because like I don't think like, or at least I don't have a history of like like people trying to, well, I guess whatever, if we want to get into technicalities, but not recent history of my family or my people trying to get oppressed.
Yeah.
So like I don't necessarily feel like what you just said about the like the master thing. I don't feel that, you get me? Because do you feel any sort of like, especially as you dig into like black
I think there's
history?
A responsibility to move with intelligence and being able to articulate yourself when needed.
Okay.
And realizing when it's a losing battle. And it's like a rage bait. It's battling on something you were never going to win. And even if you did win, you're losing something. It's like they're tricking you out of your spot. So there's certain times where, like if I'm in a position like this where I want to be informed to argue and we're just like having a political discussion between me and you, sure. But if I'm arguing with some random individual I have no clue who's about, I'm not going to sit here and cast my pearls amongst mine. Like, you know what I'm saying? It makes no sense. And I think as any brown or melanated individual, I think it'd be in your interest to do that every single time. Yeah. Because a lot of times getting a little W over some 47-year-old like MAGA guy or even a super blue Democrat person, it doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? All you're doing is putting a divide between somebody. They showed you what they needed to say, and you just take that as it is. And when it's time for you to shine, just make sure you're prepared. And you could articulate yourself and prove your points without making everybody look bad.
So it doesn't have to necessarily do with like black or anything. Like it doesn't necessarily like come back to it. Just
especially if you're black.
Oh yeah, okay.
I think everybody should have some sort of ability to articulate however they feel, politically and otherwise. Because communication is like you still want to make your point and win. But due to the history of, you know, slavery and even just the political sphere as it is right now, there's a lot of racism and politically charged like race. Like there's a lot of, it's like a powder keg between races right now, whether it's constructed by the government or not. So I feel like you got to be able to either ease the tensions or stand on what you're going to stand on.
I agree. I think that's why, like, I've been feeling for white people after the Drewski meme, you know?
I don't feel.
Nah, I'm just fucking with you. I'm fucking with you. But no. It's a very interesting point. Yeah, I mean, because like the more like I talk to people, the more you also like, especially like I guess because we're getting older too. You know, when we were young, the jokes about like we had some wild jokes. Let me tell you, some wild like racial jokes. Everybody got it. Like, but then like the older you get, the more you realize like, especially like around a lot of my black friends, it's like they thought when we were in school, because we went to like a very diverse school or stuff like that, or like I have friends that went to like Edison High School, or they went to like places in like Woodbridge, and they're like telling me, they're like, oh yeah, these are very diverse schools. So they never felt like, I don't want to say racism, but they, I guess for the lack of a better term, they never felt racism because they always felt included. But now growing up, you know, that you're kind of getting out of your bubble and you're exploring these jobs, and they're like, wait, there are people that actually like see black people as inferior, or like maybe not inferior, but they might just naturally talk to you like you are. You get me? Yeah, and so I think that's like plays a big role, where that's why I asked that question, because I know a lot of people that originally didn't care for shit like that, but then now it's like it kind of like they're like, oh, some people do talk to me like I'm stupid, so it's my responsibility to make sure I hold myself up to a standard, you know, to kind of like make sure these people, at least in corporate world, they don't play with them, you know.
I think politically, over time, whether it be right or left, nowadays it's probably more so right just because of the way things are leaning. But just throughout time,
racist.
I think racism we're being gaslit by the real effects of slavery and racism in totality.
Dr. Umar, yes,
you know what I'm saying? As time goes on, I think we try to, especially the American people, whether it be, you know, white or the dominant society, however you want to call it, they want to erase and just quickly go past what racism was, what it did, and how cruel it truly was, and the effect of it. And they just want to be able to slap a Band-Aid on it, but hey, pick yourself up. Now everything's equal. Everything is okay. While erasing the 400 years of abuse and systematic oppression on multiple levels, whether it be black and you know, later on coming brown. Yeah. They had lots of advantage, but they just try to, you know, pass it by as if it was nothing. You know, they try to erase it in a way, or downplay it. Because, you know, I feel like oftentimes here, I don't see race. But the systems that have been put in place have always seen race. And they've always propagated one race. So it's very easy to say and you know, try to propagate, I don't see race. I don't see what the problem is. What is it? Because, you know, you may have never experienced it, but we come from a lineage of getting destroyed by, you know, people that brought us here and oppressed us. So I feel like as time goes on, and we're going to try to see more and more, even with the Trump administration, getting rid of critical race theory and taking around like slavery, like memorabilia and museums and stuff. You're going to try to see the erasure of the true cruelty of what went on in chattel slavery in America. And that goes with, it might start with us, but it's going to go to everybody. Whether it be the Japanese internment camps, the Native Americans. As time goes on, unfortunately with this administration, they're going to try to erase, downplay, gaslight all of us to think that, hey, we're all just red, white, and blue Americans. But that's never been the case in history. Even to this day.
I think the big issue is that, like, you know, I wouldn't say racism is dead, but it's definitely like not, or at least not presented in the same ways it used to be. You get me? People outright used to like do it in your face. And now whether they're doing it secretly, whether, you know, some people say it doesn't exist in the government, some people say it does, whatever. You get me? Whatever your opinion is, it's not publicly done as like in your face, obvious, you know? So I think a lot of people feel like, oh, well, it's not the same as what it was. And, you know, we're doing a lot better. Why do we even have to talk about this again? But like you mentioned, you know, it's a very big thing to just because it's not happening right now doesn't mean the effects are still being felt from before, you know? And I think that's like a really big thing. And I think somebody like Trump, you know, I don't agree when people throw around the racist term on Trump. Because Trump has been known since his young years to be around a lot of black people. He's been around a pretty diverse crowd. I think, though, me personally, I think that because he has been around a lot of diverse crowd, he was raised in New York, for God's sake. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty diverse crowd right there. I think he then doesn't understand how strong, you got me, this really was, and how prominent of a thing this was, you know? And I think, you know, some people may say that that's an ignorant statement. It's just my opinion, you know? I think that he kind of, I think it's because a lot of us tend to forget, you know, especially, you know, young, he doesn't really get that excuse as he's older, but it's like a lot of us, they see the world as a better place now. And we kind of go, oh yeah, well, you know, we're all supposed to be winning. I think he has a similar mindset where he sees the world in a better place and he goes, why should we still be learning about this? Why should we still be talking about this? Well, you know, I think history plays a very big role in why, you know, to avoid things, to understand future things, you know, like we were having that conversation about DEI. But if you remove a lot of the like critical race theory and stuff, you kind of don't understand why those things were put in place in the first place, you know? And I think that's kind of, I don't think Trump is racist. I think he's ignorant, you know? And is it worse? Maybe, you know, because ignorance could really do a lot of damage, seeing what he's doing. And so I think that's why like we just have to be very careful with these terms, especially not like you and me, but like we as a people, because then when people start throwing around the term like racist, it loses its value, and it also kind of diminishes your argument, because the argument you're making isn't necessarily that he's racist or that he hates black people. It's that he's doing things against these people. You get me? And to just slap the term racist, everybody already knows what a racist is, and now everybody's on defense mode. Well, no, I'm not fucking racist. You're blah, blah, blah. You know, and that's when it turns into a conversation that it shouldn't be, you know? And I think that's where like, I think once we start get rid of those like little things, it becomes like the real conversation that needs to be had about ignorance more than anything, you know?
You know, I agree with you with him being ignorant, actually. I think he's very ignorant, but I think he's also probably discriminatory. I don't have like...
Wait. I'm sorry to interrupt real quick. What do you mean specifically by discriminatory? Because I think that's actually a really good point, and I just wanted to touch on that real quick.
I think like when I think of racism, I think of like systems that can apply oppression to individuals, and I think discrimination is just being able to like downplay somebody's race necessarily. So it's like I feel like to be racist, you need something to basically a system to expel oppression towards like the minority. To be discriminatory, I could be like, I don't like Spanish people. I don't think I have the ability to be racist, but I do think that's a very discriminatory statement. I can have prejudice towards you still. You know what I mean?
No, I see.
I think he probably had some discrimination towards, you know, and probably lots of marginal groups.
100%.
But also, I think what leads to his ignorance is he's a billionaire. He was a millionaire. He never grew up. I know he comes off as like, oh, for the American people, but never in his life did he ever struggle. Like,
well, he did. He's never he needed that $1 million loan.
Well, that's my point. Like, he was never in a position to see true struggle, to see true racism, to see the true divide, because he's always had a private jet. He's always had everything paid for. He's always had $1 million loan to fall back on. That's more than anybody in the whole entire world for a very, 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 very long time can ever have. So the divide and the ignorance, it most likely comes from that on top of everything else.
100%.
So it's like, he's out of touch, and it's very scary to have a president that out of touch. Well, I guess they all were to some degree.
So. Well, you know, I think that's like the biggest thing, because it's like I 100% agree with on everything you just said. And I think like especially that last part of like, and this moves on to the next topic that I wanted to talk about too. Not the exact order, but the Biden administration, you know, especially when Biden said, like, I'm still surprised people like even like kind of like pushed it to the side. Biden saying, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Like, that's crazy. That's a crazy thing to say. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then like, again, in the original sin, it says Biden had a line of candidates for his VP, and he said, well, we need the black vote. so then he picks Kamala Harris. He literally says, although she's not the most qualified, we need that black vote. So it's like, I think you're 100% right. It's not just one party. And I think that's the problem with being a cult, you know, a follower of either party, like extreme follower, is you tend to point at the other side and be like, look at you, boy, you're like this. And you tend to miss the hypocrisy in what you're saying. You know, when you're just a member of the cult, whatever side it is, you know, you kind of overlook or you try to excuse when your party does the same things that the other party does. And the reason I said this kind of taps into the other thing I wanted to talk about, which I don't think I wrote in our notes, was Kamala Harris and her book coming out.
I'm uninformed about her book, so.
And how she says, oh, I feel so bad for her. She's such a victim. She's such a victim, man. I feel, she says she wanted to have Pete Buttigieg run as her VP. Mm-hmm. She didn't want Tim Walz to be her VP, but she was already asking for so much from America for her as a black woman to be president that America wouldn't then let Buttigieg come on because he's gay. And she would be asking for way too much. So she had to conform to Tim Walz, an old white male. Like, shut the fuck up. I understand. How do I have this conversation? Because it becomes very sensitive too.
I get it.
I think the victim thing is overplayed at times. And again, that tends to take away from when you really are a victim to things. You know, I don't think you're a victim because you chose Tim Walz, who was a bumbling idiot saying that he was in places and events that were way before he was around. I don't think you were a victim.
It's time for accountability.
Yeah.
In this instance.
You're fucking, no. Pete Buttigieg would have been the smart decision. You made a wrong choice. And that's fine. You get me? But don't blame America. She says America is racist and homophobic, or like maybe not those exact terms. I need to be careful because, you know, obviously. But it's like, she basically says that, and I low-key want to pull up the exact quote.
No, pull up the quote.
Because I was literally sitting there reading this, and I'm like, what is this dumb ass shit that she says?
You know what it is? I think, unfortunately, what we're seeing is what politicians think of the American people as groups and as individuals.
Yeah.
So even going back to the Biden thing, saying, you're not black if you vote for me, in his mind, he thought it was permissible, and the way to gain the black vote was by displaying that kind of action. Even when it comes to anything, the way that they speak to the American people as if we're stupid, and that's how they should talk to us to gain the vote, is a much scarier insight onto what they think will pass and what has been working for such a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
100%. No, I agree.
Even this, like, I think Kamala, instead of, you know, saying, hey, like, I was in a tough position and I didn't know what to do, I was a victim. I think, you know, a much better outcome, which a lot of politicians are allergic to, is the accountability, being like, I was afraid and I chose wrong. In my eyes, I regret not choosing Pete Buttigieg. I wanted to get let's be honest. We want Midwest America.
Because
that's you know, she wanted probably some swing in some of those states, and having a gay vice president already with the trans stuff on top of it probably was not the best looks to gain or try to turn some of those individuals that would have turned otherwise.
100%.
You see what I'm saying?
And to give you her exact thing that she was saying and why I felt like this was over victimization, she calls America racist, homophobic, and anti-Semitic by saying, fuck, how did I lose it? Where was it? Oh, okay. Asking a lot of America to accept a black woman, a black woman married to a Jewish man. So adding Buttigieg, a gay man, would have been another bridge way too far. Come on. You had to throw in the anti-Semitic too. Yeah. Like, didn't nobody know that she was married to a Jewish man?
Personally,
like,
I didn't even know she's married.
What the fuck are you talking about, bro? Come on. That's what pisses me off. Instead of saying, yo, we fucked up, and hey, I should have thrown Biden under the bridge for the stupid shit that he did, and I didn't. And instead going, oh, well, America didn't choose me because they're racist, anti-Semitic, and homophobic. What the fuck are we talking about,
it speaks on what she thought she had to cater to.
Yeah,
like, she genuinely, like, they genuinely believe that, like, a part of America, well, I mean, because technically, I guess it is the truth for, you know, like, a long time. Like, all this, like, rights and even civil rights and probably, like, gay individuals and stuff, like, it's pretty recent, like, development. But God damn, for her to be like, oh, shit, I couldn't be married a Jew, black, a woman, and a gay nigga? That's raps.
Hey, low key, I feel like she would have won. Because I think another thing that did her harm, and I might be being a little bit extremist or like, you know, too satirical by saying she would have won. But I think the problem is that she chose somebody that was, one, unknown, two, another bumbling idiot, and then three, he was too old to be tapped in. We just got done with Biden calling him old as fuck, saying that we didn't want, if anything, we were ageist. You know, I think if anything, that's the victim card she should have pulled. Because I think a lot of people were over like Biden and being called idiots for saying that he doesn't look Like he's in a good state, you know? And then she comes with another old white man and people are like, yo, what the fuck are we doing? Buttigieg, I think, would have touched on a lot of these things because he's young. He's gay, but he's also served. So it's like he hits a lot of these things. He would have been a great, like, at least neutraling JD Vance, you know? And we saw in the debate, she did great against Trump. So I think that would have been a powerful team. To then say that the reason you didn't do this, there was definitely like some like, she owed Waltz a favor or something. Like, come on, I think what the fuck are we talking about?
I don't know, the first episode, if I could even see it, right? You spoke on the unreadiness and the unpreparedness of like, you know, the whole not having like a primary and stuff. I think that just speaks on their inability to prepare in that exact moment. So they just sort of kind of rush and you're right. She did probably owe him a favor and was like, all right, fuck it. Like, this is what we have to do to get this situated right now. So this is exactly what we're going to do. And it showed in, you know, their VP and how they went about the whole candidate race.
What the fuck was it that he said he was a part of? I forget. But Tim Walz really like.
I think he said he was a part of something that like he was like. I don't think he was born. For some sort of like racial thing, right?
And it's like
I don't really. I think I heard something loosely about.
Wasn't it the one with the fucking? Maybe he just misspoke. I'm trying to give the guy credit.
I know what you're talking about.
But wasn't it the one where like the guy with the tank and the Asian guy was in China? I don't know. I don't know if that's that one. I think He said something really fucking stupid, and like a lot of I was gonna say Democrats, but a lot of fucking politicians do this. You say something stupid instead of going, yo, you know, I fucked up. I said something stupid. They go, well, no, you're dumb for not understanding what I meant.
Because they're not incentivized to tell the truth though. Like even like they're like the whole game forever has always just been lie. And if you get caught lying, lie some more. So it's like until we start like pinning them to the fucking board and crucifying these niggas, you know what I mean? Like and holding them truly accountable, whether it be financially or with our votes, they're always just gonna do the same exact playbook in our face every single time. And it's not gonna change.
I think that was like a big takeaway from like our first episode of like listening to it was like we both have this mutual feeling, or at least it seemed from my point of view, that we both have this mutual feeling of like that race was so fucked.
It was.
It was either you vote for a liar or you vote for somebody telling you that they're not going to change anything of the system that you believe is fucked. And I think either way, you know, I mean, although we felt it seemed like we were on opposing sides of that conversation, of that like political spectrum, I think either way you still come away from it thinking like, how was anybody supposed to vote? like it was such a like cooked situation. It was so fucked no matter which way you went.
Like
you know?
I'm just like I'm not even upset. I'm happy that like, you know, even
Trump's
if I have voter
president,
regret,
yes sir.
No, I'm not happy that he's the president.
I thought that's what you were saying.
He's kind of making things very difficult for a lot of like normal individuals to sort of kind of operate, whether it be these tariffs or the, you know, rising price of gas and groceries and all these things. Like in the financial sector, at least he promised. The only thing he's done is like give billionaires more cuts than us, to be honest with you. And they try to like parade it in our faces as if it's helping us, when in reality it's doing the exact opposite. But I wish like I said before, I think if I could vote now, I think I would have voted for Kamala, only purely for the fact of the policy. I think it would just be not as detrimental and damaging as whatever Trump is doing right now.
And I think that was a great thing that we did in that first episode. Was it led to me, or it might have been the second one. I don't fully remember which one. I'm editing both.
It's the first one.
So I'm working on both at the same time. So it's kind of like but either way, I remember we had a conversation about how if we would have gotten Kamala, we would have continued with the same one though, the same wavelength that we were on with Biden. And then if we would have we have Trump, and this, some people would argue is fucked, some people would argue it isn't.
How do you feel about it?
I don't know enough.
Like no, given the presidency that we have now,
from a regular dude's point of view, it pisses me off that gas will go down to 270 or like 280 something, and then the next day it's back to 320. You know, I don't know, but I'm not gonna lie to you, it was the same shit under Biden for me. Same shit under Biden. I would literally be getting gas one day, and then the next day it's like triple in price. Obviously, it's satirical, but still, you know, hyperbole. But still, it would be very like a very big change. But the point I was making was the good part that I think, and the part that I'm really proud of for our pod, was that sparked a thought in my head and sparked me wanting to look into it more.
You know, it's funny. Even after the Charlie Kirk thing, I started actually digging. I started doing my research on
and
that.
That's what a good podcast is. You know, I think it presents our opinions and it presents what, you know, hopefully facts. You know, and then, you know, you kind of go, hopefully it inspires you to go digging a little bit more. And it inspired me to go digging. And according to ChatGPT, it said that you might be right about if we had gotten Kamala and we would have continued, by the end of Biden's terms, things were at least looking like a net positive, you know, or at least they were on path to becoming a net positive. With Trump, it says we're not fucked yet. So everybody keeps saying, you know, the economy is fucked, all this. That's just based off of projections. As of right now, it says things are still okay, but projections are going down, you know? Yeah. So I think that's like the biggest takeaway it was like, I can't tell you whether, you know, things would have been better under Kamala. I can only tell you based on projections, you know, Trump is going to take us into a worse state than what Kamala would have taken us if she would have continued the way that Biden would have, which I believe she would have, because that's all she fucking ran on.
So like if you could like vote again now, what would you do?
I would still have voted for Kamala. I tried voting for her.
Yeah.
I went to the box office and I told my girl, I can't decide on who to vote on. So whoever you decide to vote on, I'm doubling down on. The reason I left it up to her is because, like I've told you before, we're a blue state. My vote doesn't fucking matter. So it doesn't matter whether I vote for like Kamala or not. You know, Jersey's always going to be going towards the Democrat. So I gave it up to her. I say, yo, you choose.
How would you vote?
And she said she's voting Kamala. So I said, bet, I'm going to vote Kamala. I went in with the mindset that I'm going to go vote Kamala. And I, again, back to like what we were talking about last episode, I'm like patriotic as much as I can be. So I went, you know what? Even though I may disagree with her on some of these things, that's who I'm going to choose to be my leader. And whatever happens, I'm backing her. And that's why I talk so much shit about her now, because she's not my leader. You get me? Yeah. But it's like I went in knowing that, or like having thought that. And then I went in and they were like, oh, technically this isn't your district anymore. Like you have to go to this other building, this other school. And you got to vote. Like, and I said, fuck it, I'm not voting. I'm not going. Like, I don't care.
No, they cooked this shit.
Yeah, literally. Like I got there and everything.
This is the wrong district. Get out here.
Yeah, I had to go wait outside. Punk. Like, and I searched it up too. I searched up online. Can I just vote at any district, any school? And it said, yeah. But yeah, it was just a very interesting thing to look at and like to like be reading about, you know, like to be reading about like Kamala Harris's new shit. And
they
like,
definitely didn't make it any easier to vote for them. I'm not gonna lie. But hopefully going forward, we get these niggas out of office.
Yeah,
I don't want JD Vance. I know you think he's gonna win.
I don't. I like JD.
I think he's a freak. I think he's sucking.
I think he's me. I think he's just patriotic enough to be like, whoever's in office, that's who I'm gonna try to like back, or whoever I've backed. Yeah, I mean, whoever I've already, that's my leader. I'm gonna choose to back him. And I think because like even listening to him on Theo Von's, he's like, he wants to talk badly about like some of the things Trump does.
Yeah, he's not doing
it. But he's going, you kind of have to do that for your team. I always tell everybody, we handle our shit personally behind closed doors. But in public, you're not going to humiliate me like that. You always got to have my back. It's the same thing I'm always going to do.
I don't want that from my politicians.
I think you're 100% right. I actually agree with you on that. This isn't a gang. This isn't because that's where I got it from. You get me? That mindset was from people that were affiliated, you know? Yeah. So it's like, I think that's how he is though, where he's not going to call out Trump because that's the person he's backing. The same thing Kamala Harris did. You get me? So I think he's like you said, I can respect it, you know, like, well, you didn't say that. No, I can respect it, but like you said, I don't want that from my politicians. Yeah. I want it from Eric that lives in like little old New Jersey.
Yeah, with my people.
Sure.
Yeah. Running the government and the whole United States, no thank you.
Yeah, no, I agree.
They have all access to like wealth and the treasury and all. Yeah, no thank you.
Yeah,
I think I'll pass on that one.
Yeah.
You know, even like when it comes to abortion and stuff like that, I just don't think I necessarily agree leaving up to states and whatnot. You know what I mean?
You don't. This could be a very sensitive topic.
I don't think I do. And because it's one of those things where it's like, until they start proving to me that they even necessarily have what it takes to care about life in general, then I don't find it necessary.
What's your view on abortion?
This is my view. There's nothing wrong with being with pro-life, but if you're not going to offer any more access to, whether it be more paid like time off or better foster care systems to help raise said child, then to me, you just want somebody to be born.
But wait, okay.
So that's like more pro-birth to me than
to
pro
give you
life.
I actually really agree with that. I actually really like that. To give you, just to play devil's advocate, I'll give you the Ben Shapiro and a response to that. So if a mother has a kid that's a 1 month old child, and she decides, yo, I can't afford this. I'm going through troubles, you know, and she decides to drown the baby. Should that be okay? Because she can't. She could, but so okay. So then that's when we start getting a little bit more into specifics. So it's not necessarily about just
once the baby is born, it's alive. You see what I'm saying?
Well, okay. So then we get into the conversation of at what point do you think it's life?
No, listen, I'm not going to argue what's life and what's not life.
But I think that is the argument.
No, I think when I'm speaking of life, I'm speaking of it in the sense of being born. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, go kill your baby like 9 months old about to be born. Sure, you can make a case that, maybe you should wait till after 5 months, then that's the cutoff. Fine. But I'm not going to say, if it's born for a month and it's been out of your womb for a month, drown it, and that's not going to, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but I think that's where, like, I didn't even think about this until hearing him out. And I think, like, that's where, like, a lot of people, like, fuck up by, like, going, like, obviously Ben Shapiro can be a lunatic with some of the things he says, an extremist, you know.
Yeah, that's inflammatory.
But I think either way you have to think about it, and you have to at least try to understand where they're coming from.
Yeah, but nobody's saying that. Who's saying they drown a 1-year-old kid?
No, but you know? I think it's a fair point, though.
That's not a fair point.
I think
who is saying that?
No, because if we're gonna say you can kill a baby that's in your stomach at 9 months, but it's 1 month later you can't. I don't think that's fair.
It's not.
I agree. I don't think that's fair. I honestly don't see a difference in that. I don't see a difference in killing a 9-month-old in your stomach.
To me, the difference is literally it's born. Like, it came out, but it's alive, and it's
that's
crying.
not that much of a difference.
No,
like,
it is.
Unborn it really isn't. That's
what I think.
It's alive inside of the woman. You know,
it's not outside of the woman.
Yeah, but that's still. I don't know. I think either way we're gonna be running in circles here.
This is my view. Like, I'm not saying. Listen, I could understand if you wanted to after 6 months, because I don't really know too much about, I guess, terms of pregnancies. Because I know. Once it's like a zygote and it's fertilized.
Shout out my wife in her third trimester today.
Yeah. Probably once you hit the third trimester, okay, it's getting a little rocky now because, like, you know what I'm saying, it's probably fully developed. And if you want to be like, hey, you know what, that's kind of crazy, fine. But, like, anything up to 6 months, like, fuck it. It is what it is. Like, let them do what they want.
Yeah, I think, like, his argument of, he made a very fair point and that I didn't think about until, like, listening to him. And it was him saying, he said, I'm pro-life. And the other lady says, because this was him on the Breakfast Club. And the other girl goes, why don't you think, like, why do you feel like you should be choosing for the woman? And he goes, I don't even think of it from like about a woman or not, whatever, you know. I say pro-life because there's a third party involved that can't speak up for themselves. And I think I'm thinking for that third party. And I'm thinking, I think they would want to live, you know. I think they would want to, like, so he's not even necessarily saying he wants to control what a woman does. That just so happens to be what comes out of, you get me, this third party that can't speak up for himself. Because I think if the third party had a choice, what did the game say on Hate It or Love It? He says, what would have happened if my mom had that abortion? Thank you, you know, and he thanks her for not having it. So I think there is a point to be made of, it's not as simple, or at least from my point of view, you know, it really isn't as simple as just, you know, this is an inanimate object that, like, you know, you should just, I think it gets to a point where it is a little bit like,
until we make it easier to have kids,
like,
I don't feel it should be obligated by anybody. Until you make it any easier, like I said, you don't compensate them, like, not just on their taxes, but give them more time off from their job and stuff like that. You make it unreasonable to have kids.
But then I think
nobody
also
wants to have kids in a crumbling economy when they can't afford it. Like, you understand, those things should be either offering some sort of government program to incentivize having kids. If they want to have an abortion,
well, I agree, but I know a chick that's had 3 abortions.
Okay,
she's just like, choice. But what I'm saying is at some point it is like, there's no consequences for this. This is I know there shouldn't be, but I'm just saying there's no consequences. And by consequences, I mean, like, actually having to care for the life of your irresponsibility of, you know, letting a man nut in you. So I think,
but that's not.
But what I'm saying is And now there's 3 babies dead because of it, 3 people that could have had a chance at life, And I just think personally, I think at some point it's also about like.
But you're like putting a personality to these babies that aren't even yours. And
it doesn't matter.
At whatever stage she got an abortion, they could have been, but that's not your choice.
I know. I'm not saying. I'm just saying, like from my point of view,
I just think of consequences. Like that's her burden to live with.
She doesn't give a fuck,
and if she doesn't give a fuck, that's what I'm saying.
I think that's just like personally, I just think that's like we should. I don't know. Personally, I just don't like that idea.
But why?
Of because if I steal from somebody, I get a slap on the wrist. I actually understand that there's going to be consequences to this, and that prevents me from doing it again.
Oh, you think having sex loosely like that is
I think people
wrong.
are just going to have irresponsible sex, and then if there's no they don't have to deal with the consequence of bearing a child after that, so then they're just okay with doing it. I think personally, my solution is make an abortion $600 or expensive, so that or to a point where you're gonna feel it, but then also fuck, but that's obviously there's not a full solution because then rich people are just gonna No, there's always caveats to everything.
My thing is just first off, we shouldn't be gatekeeping fucking medical processes to anybody.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying.
Well, I think if you're being irresponsible and nutting in 20 women,
it's irresponsible if there's a way to deal with it.
It is irresponsible.
But it's not.
That is.
The thing is, if there's easy, accessible care and she made a mistake or it didn't plan out the way she wanted to and she was able to get an abortion, then guess what? That's a safety net she could fall on. Yeah, should there be more like IUDs or maybe birth control that you speak about? Sure. But guess what? She decided to get an abortion. She can't financially handle it or whatever. That's up for her to decide. That's not our choice.
But I think that's where the disconnect is.
There should
be
a consequence to sex. We live in the 21st century, man.
But I think that's
people
where
have more casual sex and casual engagements that we don't have to be out here. This is my wife and I'm gonna be with her only. We live in a different world now.
So my only argument to what you're saying is that you keep constantly going, oh, that should be her choice, blah blah blah. Yeah, I'm not saying it shouldn't be her choice, but it's a very fair point to think that this is a life. This is a life this is a soul that you're completely destroying. At one point, do we start to then lose the value of creating life, or even just lose the value of life? It's like if you're just freely getting this many abortions, or just to give the opposite too, because I don't want it to just be feel like we're only putting responsibility on the woman. If a man is getting 20 girls pregnant and constantly just getting abortions, it's kind of like, bro, you're just you're just constantly killing babies to me. To me personally, it's just kind of like you're kind of a piece of shit for that, in my opinion. Because at that point, it's like you could just wear a condom. You could just do all these other things instead of killing a baby. From my point of view, I'm just saying.
I do understand that, and I don't think there's anything wrong with viewing that. But personally, I think when you let the government dictate the government never even cared about life to begin with. When you look at the atrocities that we've committed just over a period of time.
Oh boy!
I'm just saying.
We always gotta go to another.
No, I'm just saying when it comes to establishing, hey, you can't kill this because we deem this a baby, brother. I save it. You know what I mean? If this lady wants to get an abortion, and like I said, and it's within reason, obviously, it's not gonna be a 9-month-old.
You know
what I'm saying? Then I
agree on that.
You have more. An argument, like, hey, okay, it's a baby now. It's forming. It got arms and legs and shit. Okay, cool. But if she wants to get 3 abortions, whether you think she's a slut and they're having unprotected sex and all that stuff, that's just more so your view on it.
Of course,
I think as times progress, shit is just gonna be like that. You're right. We're gonna have more casual sex. Sex is not gonna lose its meaning. It's just gonna have a different one. It's not gonna be seen so oh hey, you're crazy for fucking all these. If we're gonna be honest, a lot more, especially young women, because whatever feminist movement you whether we agree with it or not, are going to have more casual sex. That's the reality of the world.
And
as we have more, like I said, access to birth control and all this other stuff, people are going to have and engage in more casual sex. And that's okay.
I think that's why I thank God that I'm not in politics. Because then also, even if you ask me, I'm not anti-abortion though, But then people will be like, oh, so how far along do you think? And I would agree with you at the 6-month marker. I think that's a pretty fair marker,
Yeah.
Because then it's like, okay, when does the heartbeat start? Well, the heartbeat starts at 12 weeks. That's, my heartstrings start to get pulled and I go, fuck, I feel bad, But okay, so let's make it 12 weeks. But then some people easily don't find out until 18 weeks. all right, so then 18 weeks, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like
and so I think that's why, like, I thank God I'm not in politics, because like shit like that, I could never. I don't know. I can't. I'm just speaking from like the devil's advocate of what you're saying, but at the same time, I also agree with a lot of what you're saying. You know, I also agree that like while somebody like a Ben Shapiro is saying, I'm not taking into consideration the woman, because there is a third party here that can't, you know, like I'm not necessarily trying to control the woman. I'm just trying to defend for this person. I also understand that, you know, you're still controlling somebody, you know, and you can't force somebody to go through labor like that. Also looking at like the high maternal birth deaths, you know, deaths while giving birth, it's kind of scary, you know. And you're starting to force a woman to have to do that by byproduct. You get me? Because because of like, you think that you want to defend this life, you know, that this third party that can't speak up for themselves. I think that's a scary thought, you know, too. So I don't know. I sympathize for everybody on that. I think the part that a lot of politicians are missing is that while sure y'all should be talking about Roe v. Wade and all this other stuff, I think we should also be talking about implementing a little bit more sex education into schools and stuff, you know. We didn't know about that, you know, or like I learned a little bit, but I was shooting the club up at 14.
No, speak for yourself, brother.
I said
Yeah.
I was shooting the club up at 14. I don't know if you remember, my ex at the time was like, I think I'm pregnant.
Oh, I remember that on a couple occasions.
And I was like, what the fuck? And I'm 14, 15, scared. You know what I mean? I think proper education could definitely help. Back to like what we were talking about with like reparations and stuff. I think education can help at least with a lot of situations. You get me? Proper education on this. And so I think before we start going like having conversations on the after, I think we should also try very hard on the before. There is a before part where we're saying that they're making irresponsible choices. How about we show them why this is irresponsible? You get me? Or explain to them why this could be irresponsible. Explain to them the other options that they have. You get me? To make sure that this doesn't happen. But then even then, just to counter myself, and I'm sorry, I'm talking nonstop. Even then, to counter myself, at what age do you introduce that then?
Puberty probably around there, because people
like 13.
Yeah,
that's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Look at us. I think we should be
the average. Like, cause think about it, when you average, like, you know, once you start hitting puberty, with the averages for most people, you know, they just have different hormones. You might start getting, you know what I'm saying, like horny and shit like that. So it's like it's probably more reasonable to introduce those kinds of things.
Look at us.
You know,
I think we were those kinds president and VP right here.
That's what I'm saying.
Got everything solved.
You know.
I honestly think I was thinking about that not too long ago until I realized it might be the dumbest idea possible. But hear me out.
Yeah.
I think whoever wins presidency, whether you're Republican, Democratic, whoever, other party, Libertarian, whatever, your VP needs to be somebody from the other party.
Whoa. You know,
it might be the dumbest idea ever, but just off of like the immediate thought,
that might not be too bad.
Because cool. Then you have somebody that's also in power that can, you know, sit there and talk with you and give you counterpoints to what you're talking about. And now we don't have idiots like Trump as president. You get me?
I don't hate that.
Instead, we have maybe like a JD as president and a Pete Buttigieg as vice president. Or
I don't hate that.
Buttigieg as president.
I actually think that's not even that bad of an idea.
I think we claim to be a democracy, but even at the very head, we're not diverse. It's just one party that's going to be leading.
That. Honestly, that's kind of lit. I can't even hate on it. Low key, you might be honest now with that one. That one is tough.
For this one.
That one is tough.
I thought that was a fair point.
That's not bad. I can't even hate on that. I agree.
I'd be very curious to hear like what a counter would be to that. You know,
that's pretty fucking sick.
That's what I'm saying. I just think. I think back, and you know, this leads us right into the other conversations I wanted to have of like the part that's dying in America is having a conversation, you know, having talks about things, and you know, like at least trying to understand the other party. Like I think right now, like a lot of Republicans go, we don't even need to listen to the left because who are y'all? Yeah, I mean,
well, I think right now they're creating a dangerous echo chamber for themselves by blaming everything on the left. Well, and absolving themselves of accountability. I think a dangerous president is trying to be set by making an example of Jimmy Kimmel, and they're trying to introduce that bill, right? Where it's like something about a journalist kind of credential. Yeah.
Well, I thought you would be in favor of that.
No.
You were talking about the podcasters need to have more information and speak more truth.
But that's a duty as an American citizen. Not
it shouldn't be forced. Yeah. I think that's the same.
Then it becomes very, very like vague and is able to be used as a weapon to 100%. Press whatever side.
First, I want to hear your point of view on the Kimmel situation.
I don't think he said anything wrong.
How much do you know about the situation? And
I think I saw the clip. He just played basically like, first off, the Kirk Day. Wild. Yeah. But he played the clip of Jonathan Trump just being like, hey, you see that construction over there? And like, yeah. He's like, shout out my boy Kirk. But anyway, we're starting to build this construction.
Fucking idiot, bro.
You know, I honestly think there was nothing wrong with the clip, but I think it goes to show that right now, the party that's in the government are running right now is afraid of accountability. Yeah. And they're hypocrites. And in any point in the way, like they're like narcissists. They can't take any accountability for anything that they do. And even their homie, Charlie Kirk, they're using him only as a pundit and his death to just furthermore gain their power. And they're just trying to fearmonger and blame, they try to blame the radical left. Remember, people were talking real spicy, like, oh, when we catch this person, blah, 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 we need to bring the death penalty. And they finally said, oh, we got to pray for our youth. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's definitely an energy being carried out to further someone's power and to make them feel better without lacking any accountability whatsoever. And this is like a desperate reach at just trying to censor because it hurts their feelings, in my personal opinion.
Okay, so now I'm going to give you a little bit of pushback.
Give me some pushback.
You say, why am I blanking? Okay, but you said, one, that people need to hold themselves accountable for stuff, that they say and stuff. Mm-hmm. And you said that nothing was wrong with what Kimmel said. No. While I agree he didn't say something wrong, you don't feel he was spreading misinformation.
About what?
He said that the shooter was one of them, one of MAGA. And I think he wasn't, especially at the time that, and even we got this wrong. I said it last time on our pod saying that I heard that the shooter was MAGA, and even we got this wrong where, they announced that his family reps MAGA, his dad for sure, according to the text messages, but we'll talk about that later. His dad for sure is MAGA. And then his family has a line of history of MAGA, but then people came out and said, well, his mom has been leaning left. Then they came out that he's been a little distant with his family because he's been leaning left too. So he is. And then obviously his transgender girlfriend, I believe, I don't know what, I completely forgot. I don't mean that like as a joke. I genuinely don't remember if it was a male that transitioned to female or female to boy. Do you know which one it was? Or
I didn't. I just saw transgender and I was like, oop.
Either way, that was his roommate and somebody that he was into. You get me? That doesn't sound like far MAGA, So I think whether the problem is trying to label this person right now as a political thing. And I think that's kind of part of where Kimmel fucked up. Because he goes, you guys are trying to paint this guy as a far left. And he turned out to be one of you. You're one of your own. And I think I can see why, people would be upset. While I see that you could be upset, I don't agree canceling him over this is fair. I think at the end of the day, I don't even remember if I let you answer the question.
No.
Do you think he was...
this is the pushback.
Do you think ABC has a responsibility with misinformation being spread?
I agree when that's the thing. Early reporting is something that every platform at this point in our cycle of journalism does. And I do think they should have waited and probably did a little more due diligence when it came to reporting on it. But I think the hypocrisy still lies in, don't forget, everybody on the right, just as in the left, was misreporting, saying, oh, he's leaning left or he's leaning right, and nobody truly knew. Yeah. Remember, even before he died, he said, oh, if they catch the suspect, it should be this. It came out. More information came out. It wasn't what they thought. And then even more information came out. It's not what everybody thought. That doesn't mean I think they should cancel Kimmel for anything.
Aren't we all lucky that this shooter was a moderate?
Well, I'm just saying.
What the fuck?
But
we can say,
that's real. Like, we really, everybody's trying to put a pin on it, but I don't think anything he said was completely differing what anybody said. If that's the case, we got to persecute literally every single news station everywhere at all times, no matter what. So I think this just goes back to them being hypocritical and Donald Trump's administration trying to create an example and show them that they're not afraid to try to pull your monetization to silence them.
Whoa. Let's hold off a second, though. Just to give you another pushback. technically, the Trump administration didn't do anything direct to cause him to get pulled off, you know?
Yeah, and if you want to say that
technically this was a big thing that I am gonna, and I haven't even stated what I think, you know, about I guess I did state briefly, but I just kind of want to give a little bit of pushback to, you know, I don't want us to just be one-sided.
Yeah.
But like I told you, you know, about the third party that we want to involve in the podcast, everybody has jobs, everybody has, you know, a boss. So we need to be careful with what we say, because if one of our employers, clients, whatever, doesn't like what it was said, they have the right to fire us over it. Does that not fall under the same umbrella here with Kimmel, where maybe he should have checked what he was saying first, because he knows that he has a boss and his employer decided to fire him over things that his employer didn't agree with?
You honestly, you could make that case, but I think given the context, there's a deeper meaning of it. Yeah, sure. Like, to save face and like the political answers, like, yeah, like technically he has every right to fire whoever he wants. That remains true. But given the context and how Donald Trump has also treated reporters in the past, I see correlations between the two, and I wouldn't be surprised if he had any influence with it whatsoever. So, well, given, yeah, he could fire whoever he wants. I think if you, given the context, is an underlying message and a shouts out like, hey, you're not as safe as you think you are. We can still get your job.
Yeah, I think overall this is still now to give my actual.
Yeah, what is your take?
I think this is the dumbest thing ever.
This only makes this whole Charlie Kirk thing 10 times.
Yeah, I think people saying what I just said to you are leaving out a very big and important part, which was the president of the FCC going on a podcast literally hours later after Kimmel said that and going, hey, y'all better do something about this or there will be a severe punishment. That's the president of the FCC sitting there and threatening these big corporations that what just so happens too, who is ABC, has a new merger going on with another company that needs approval from the FCC. So if the president is saying, aware of that. Yeah, if the president of the fucking FCC is saying there's going to be severe punishments if you don't handle this, and then
get that nigga out of
here. Yeah, what the fuck are we talking about? Sure, they didn't step in and directly go,
but that's as direct as a threat.
Literally, that's as indirect of a threat as
like, hey, get this nigga out of here.
Yeah, that's as direct of an indirect shot.
Get this nigga out of here.
Yeah, literally. What the fuck? What are you talking about? Yeah, I think that's the dumbest thing that people are leaving out. Where it's like, you can't say his boss just fired him. Yeah, his boss fired him because their boss, which is the government, just threatened to fuck up their whole situation, which their boss should not be stepping into this, legally speaking. So it is the dumbest thing. While I do agree, Kimmel was potentially spreading misinformation, I also agree, so do we all. Yeah, I mean, what you said, everybody else is going to have to get fired then. By that accord, I agree. Like, it's the dumbest thing. He was spreading accurate information to what he saw at the moment. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it baffles me how like the right is celebrating this. Meanwhile, your guy that was doing the exact same thing, the guy that stood for talking instead of silencing freedom of speech, is the one that we're fighting about this over. The one that died and is the reason for all this. Charlie Kirk was the king of, hey, I'm going to go and mic up my opponents. I'm going to actually lift up their voices so we can talk at the same level and argue together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no.
That's his whole thing. And now out of nowhere, the right is celebrating that Jimmy Kimmel was silenced. This was the opposite of what Kirk stood for. It's genuinely just baffles me how, and then it also baffles me how people on the left are going, but you gotta understand, it was a joke. You gotta understand, because the reason that baffles me is y'all were just wanted to cancel Sydney Sweeney over her fucking Good Jeans commercial saying that she was a Nazi. What the fuck are we talking about? Both sides are being extremely hypocritical, and both sides are like saying, oh, well, this is wrong, unless it has to do with the opposition.
Was definitely a little weird.
That was not weird. I don't think they were playing into the.
I'm not saying cancel them, but there definitely was some weird undertones. But it's like,
I don't think it was weird. I just think it's the fact that she has big breast.
They're talking about her blonde hair and blue eyes.
They weren't talking about her blonde.
I'm not saying they're talking, but there's an underlying, especially with the political climate going on.
What was it? Poorly timed? Sure. Should they have just zoomed into her breast specifically and been like, this is what we mean by good genes? Probably. Yeah. Because a majority of people don't fucking find her attractive. They're
really attributable. I feel like she's not even. I feel like she be getting unjustified hate. I don't think she's an ugly guy. But at the same time, I don't like Michael B. Jordan. So I get it.
She's what a lot of people in the past would call a butterface.
You think so?
I think a lot of people feel that way.
How do you feel about that?
A lot.
We're not getting you in trouble with your wife. No.
I don't got no opinions.
Do you think she is a butterface? Like,
I think that God made us all to be beautiful human beings.
No, but is she a butterface?
But you know,
I don't think she's a butterface.
Yeah.
You think she's ugly and you're just like, oh,
no. Okay. I don't think she's ugly, but I think
uglier people.
I think what is generally agreed upon is
generally
her body is what brings her attractiveness level. I think if it was just based off face, she's probably like a 3-5. Okay, yeah, you're right. I'm being extremist. She's probably like, but honestly, on a scale of 10, she's probably like a 5-6. And then her body gives it that other half to push it up. You know what I mean? I think that's what people are talking about. But either way, this is like neither here nor there. The whole idea of the commercial was to say that she's an attractive woman. And that's what they mean by good genes. People are talking about this is anti-Semitic bull. And it was heavy left saying that. And now when it comes to Kimmel saying that the shooter was one of MAGA, they're like, oh, well, obviously he was being satirical. But
I don't think anybody should get fired.
You're right. I don't think anybody should get fired. But I think it's just very hypocritical of both sides to be like the arguments that they're being made. I'm literally listening to people on both sides and I'm genuinely laughing because I'm like, you were the same person not too long ago feeling this way about this situation. Did
she get fired?
No, but they like there was so much backlash. The only reason nothing happened was because the Gene, what was it, Levi, the Gene company,
it was American Eagle.
American Eagle. They doubled down and they go, yeah, she does have great genes. She looks good, and yeah, that's what you should do in a situation like that. The only problem here is that they don't need the FCC for a future deal. Yeah. ABC needs the FCC for a future deal, so they can't afford to double down and be like, well, he said some stupid shit, but you know what he meant. They got to be like, fuck, we need this deal to go through because it's a couple $1 billion being transferred.
Yeah, with that context, that is cooked.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That is a lot of work. The thing is,
I think there's a big difference.
The right should be able to at least say, hey, the FCC shouldn't be, whether we agree with it or not.
Like, yeah.
I think you have bad PR, sure.
You need to,
as the FCC should not be involved.
As a person on the right, you need to be able to see, we were just defending the Sydney Sweeney case, obviously. First of all, also what you were talking about last time, there's a bunch of comedians that have been tuned into this right space now. And so for you to now be like, well, comedy isn't acceptable. What the fuck are we talking about, guys? And then people are like, dangerous. People are like, well, you saw what was happening under Biden. All these people are being canceled because of like jokes and stuff. And it's like, yeah. And now what? You're gonna play the sensitive card, you fucking retards. Like, yeah, it's the dumbest thing I've heard. And then, but also like people on the left going like, oh, you guys are being super sensitive. Come on, guys. Come on. Come on. Y'all are not the ones to talk about being super sensitive.
Least, I mean, they didn't. Like Biden didn't do anything with the FCC.
No, but cancel culture did a lot. And I think Trump technically didn't do anything with the FCC either.
No, but technically that's just PR.
Yeah, technically.
But
this is just PR that
the FCC a part of the government, right?
Yeah. But that's what I mean.
I guess you can still share criticism.
Technically, Trump didn't say
government
nothing.
Branch. Like Trump should be able to say, "Hey, no, don't do this," and that could be a valid criticism. Like even if Biden did it,
yeah,
like you should be able to be like, "Hey, Biden, this is not an okay thing. You should not let this pass under your administration."
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And
but like cancel culture is just like, if you think about it, that's just bad PR for business. That's not necessarily the FCC.
Well, no. I think the only pushback I'd give to that is the rhetoric started from people up top. You even look at what we just spoke about with Kamala Harris calling America homophobic, racist.
Because part of it is there's a little bit of truth in that.
There's a little bit of truth, but then that led to extremists going, we're going to cancel you if you did anything wrong in your life ever and said anything wrong. You know, that's the whole reason why James Gunn is where at DC and not with Marvel. You know, I think they started something that you probably right, had good intentions, is this based in truth, you know, and they wanted probably to make people feel included. And then people came and took it far and went, if you don't include every single letter of the LGBTQ plus community, if we feel like you disrespected anybody, even if that wasn't your intention, you're being, you know, bastardized or whatever the fuck the word was.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying.
And so I think either way, that had some sort of government backing. You know, backing
not necessarily.
No, not like directly like the FCC, where I think you're 100% right. I just think also like the idea, like you going like the government didn't do anything. That was mostly, they did by introducing the ideas and even riding on it by going, yeah, we need to do all this, you know, like this is good. We need to remove hate. And it's like, you know, for a fact, not everybody that's being canceled is hate, you know, like it's spreading hate.
I agree.
I think, but you're right. You're right. They did the right thing and not directly handling that. And it's well,
no, I think leaving the ability to have free speech and whatever the free market is going to do is going to do. Because when you really think about it, when you talk about the genes and all these other things, there was no government involvement. Unfortunately, that was the culture that was surrounding. If you have a problem with the culture itself, I can understand where you're coming from.
Yep.
But in terms of the government stepping in, I think that's cooked and we should be calling that out no matter what. Because it's now generally attacking a lot of like media when it comes to reporting and then, you know, all that other shit. But when it comes to companies just doing shitty commercials at bad times, I don't think they should lose their job over it. But then again, their whole job is to sell us something. If they're doing a poor job at selling it, that's their PR's, like that's the marketing team's fault, not our fault.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. And I think that's why like there's just so much hypocrisy going on with this Kimmel situation. And I think it's just like the dumbest thing. And then like apparently like they're trying to like find a way to bring him back. But he wants to not double down, but kind of make like his opening monologue be something like, this is rumors and speculation. Something like, oh, well, obviously I didn't mean to like make light of the Kirk situation. And obviously I meant it just as Trump was being dumb in his reaction, you know, and it may have been misinterpreted, but I didn't mean it that way. And I think that's what he wants to do. Meanwhile, ABC is saying, well, you're kind of pushing it. Well, you're kind of doubling down. Kirk. And so
what the hell is that?
What do you mean?
I heard that they wanted him to donate and make a donation to his
what is that going to do?
Man, fuck that. What do you got to donate to Kirk for?
Yeah, I think you're allowed to disagree with somebody, you know, like, and he didn't even make it about Kirk. Like Kirk had nothing to do. Kirk's death had nothing to do.
Trump is smoking on that Kirk pack,
Trump is dumb. Like Trump literally goes.
He's not dumb. I think it literally just shows Trump doesn't care.
You're right. But I think also
that was like a oopsie.
Well, also if we're going to be upset about comments made about Kirk. Well, I don't agree with that at all.
The only people that care about Kirk are the far right extremists. I swear to God. At least from my point of view.
Nah. I know
I don't see anybody on the left. I don't see any minorities necessarily caring about him. I don't see anybody. Even Donald Trump don't care about him.
That's where I disagree, because even people on the left that would argue with Kirk
they're upset at the way he went out.
But that's what I mean. But that's what I mean. You saying nobody cares about Kirk, I disagree only because he stands for something a little bit bigger right now as of the moment of his death, and that's the threat to freedom of speech. I think say what you will, that is a very real thing that's going on right now, where people are feeling a bit of threat because you can't even just disagree with somebody in public.
In solidarity, at least from the right and the left, about, hey, that was wrong.
But that's what I mean.
It doesn't seem like anybody cares about that fact he's dead. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No. I disagree with that, because I think the fact that he's dead is the reason why everybody's in solidarity.
The fact that he died the way he did because of that people, I think everybody could disavow
I think what you're saying.
But the fact that he's dead, and nobody cares that he's dead. They care about how he died.
No. I only disagree with that because I think what you're saying is kind of like the idea, the person specific,
the way he died.
No. I think what you're saying is that the person specific doesn't matter, and it could have been any person, and because of how it went down, then that's what
I'm saying. Specifically because of what Charlie Kirk was saying. Like if he died at 82, nobody would even care. like of natural cause. It's the fact that it's the way.
I think if he died at 31 of natural causes, it still would have. I think it still would have been pretty popular. You're right, and I think overall, that's why I only disagree with nobody cares, because I do think a lot of people care. I think people care more about what happened. I think this is my. I think like 90% of people care about the way that he went out because it's wrong, and everybody collectively could disavow how he went out. Yeah, but the fact that Charlie Kirk is the one that died, I honestly don't think anybody personally cares. I don't know,
because I think most of the rhetoric was cooked.
But
we all could agree. Sure, people could feel the way they want to feel, but I think a general collective sense is nobody gives an actual flying fuck.
I think and the only reason I did give pushback on that is because obviously you see what's in your space, I see what's in my space. So what's in my space is clearly different than what's in your space, because I see people on both sides actually feeling for it, feeling for him. But again, that might just be my space, and then who knows which one is the reality. The reality is probably somewhere in the middle.
Or probably feeling for his family or something like that. But for Kirk, I feel like nobody feels.
But I think that's why I say like Trump is just like dumb. I think his timing was just stupid. Like, he didn't know how to respond to that in a way. Because you're right. I don't think I think if we're talking about how much he cares, probably a 5%.
I don't think he cares a little bit.
I think he cares 5% because
unless it involved him.
But that's what I mean. I think he cares 5% because Kirk played a big role in people listening to Trump and caring about Trump. So I think that's why that 5% is there. It's like, this guy did help me anyways. And then a McDonald's burger probably matters more to him in the moment. But it's like, I think that's why it's dumb. I'm calling him dumb because he knows he has that 5% care, but he plays it up like a 95% care for the camera. Oh, wow. And he couldn't play it up in that moment.
You think that was a dumb move? For him?
I think him. It was JD Vance.
It was just an act of stupidity.
JD Vance, I actually think cares because apparently they actually go way back and they actually have known each other even when JD was a Democrat, and they actually like know each other, personally know each other, and so that's why. At first, again, I see left media going, "Oh, JD Vance, like, why is our vice president doing this?" Because he walked.
Do you agree with the Charlie Kirk day?
I don't know. I know that's but you see JD Vance walking with the casket as it's coming out of the plane. And then you see left going, "Why is our VP doing this?" And you see people on the right going, "Yes, look at him standing for Charlie Kirk." I think it's neither. I think you're both using this death as like something to like politicize. Meanwhile, I think really what it was, that was just his friend.
It probably
we'd all probably just show up for our friends, and this guy just so happens to be vice president. But I think bigger, I don't think he was playing a political card by showing up. I think at first it was a genuine, like, damn, my boy is dead. And then now it's probably a little bit more politicized. Now he probably knows that he could use this a little bit more to like as fuel.
But do you like the Charlie Kirk day? Like, are you like, when you hear that, do you feel anything about it? Do you just not care? You're just like, oh, like,
I don't really care because I don't think those days mean anything. Like, there's a bunch of holidays and stuff that were made into stuff, and I don't care. I don't. It's like, and it's also kind of like you said, it feels like a lot of people who are fake caring just to push their own propaganda and their own party. And so this just feels like the same as like if he was a left person and he died during Biden's time, I don't doubt that Biden would have done the exact same thing.
You think Biden would have gave him a day?
Yes. Biden would have for sure. If his PR team was, this would do numbers, he's going,
or maybe he would. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Numbers, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't think any of them are doing it because they actually care about the guy.
But I think it's a slap in the face to everybody.
I think either way, it's just, I don't know. I think
like from any government body, no matter what party did this, I think this is a slap in the face to black people, brown people, everybody.
Yeah.
To like give this man a day after everything that he was saying. Like, I understand respecting his death, but giving him a day, that's crazy. Crazy. It's a slap in the face. You know what I mean? Especially with George Floyd and all these other people getting murdered and shit like that. You know what I mean? I'm not saying George Floyd needs a day.
Not using the George Floyd argument.
No, I'm not saying George Floyd needs a day, but it's crazy to allow someone that had the same, like, though not the same ideas, but the ideas that and the rhetoric that he was spitting, it's crazy.
If we're just
crazy
bluntly, George Floyd didn't have the clout that Charlie Kirk
Sure,
had.
you can say he didn't have the clout.
So
I
I hate when people are comparing.
Not a day.
I think that's why I hate that you even mentioned it. Just because, and I know your intentions weren't like that.
Yeah.
But I've seen that rhetoric online too. It's like, well, why didn't we get George Floyd Day? Well, guys, come on. The numbers wouldn't have. Actually, didn't it lead to like a whole bunch of BLM stuff? And then the people in charge spent the money on mansions and stuff. Come on, guys.
I think it's different from the core like intention of the whole day. Like, it's like, why are you giving someone like that a day? I'm not saying what didn't happen.
I think it's just because you don't like the guy. I think that's why you're saying it. But
still,
if it was somebody that you like,
even he had misinformation. I don't think he was important enough to any part of anybody to get a day.
I disagree only because literally speaking, he was important enough to help with numbers. You know, you could see,
but not enough to get a day.
No, I agree with that. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, that's my whole argument.
But what I'm saying is, I think you're only saying that because you didn't like the guy. Meanwhile, like it's true. People like with popularity die off. Like let's say, and obviously, thank God it didn't happen. But if this were like Jon Stewart, you know, the left would easily try to dedicate a day to him and do all this.
No, I just don't think anything important enough for a day.
I'm just saying because you were saying like, oh, with the rhetoric that he spreads.
Yeah,
I think that's just opinion.
Shit.
I don't think so. I think it's just opinion
so you think
based.
Harmful shit at all?
No, I don't think he spread harmful shit. I think if you're misinformed and you don't do basic research, yeah, you're sure you can get like misinformed by him. But I think if you're even half not even a smart person, half a like realistic person, you'll do a little bit more research and not just use his talking points.
But I think that goes to he shouldn't. That's crazy. Like I think if I gotta do research to prove you wrong because you're using things in a weird way. That's not a debate.
That's a debate. Yeah,
he's just completely wrong, bro. I've heard him talk about the 13%, 50% of violent crimes thing. Like, that is outdated and debunked. That's the craziest thing.
And like we said, there have been times where like presidential candidates will go up. Kamala has said things that were wrong. But what I'm saying, no. But what I'm saying is, just because you're wrong about a few things doesn't also like completely say that you were spreading hateful rhetoric. Blah, blah. You were just wrong about some
I feel like I said, slavery and stuff like that. I find that crazy.
But again,
you know, I find that to be
that's
bad
when we get into
evil.
Subjective conversations, though. You know what I mean? I think that's a subjective thing. To him, it's not downplaying it because he doesn't put enough. I don't want to say value, but I guess like he doesn't care enough about the repercussions, obviously, because he didn't directly deal with any of that. You know what I mean? So I think that's why it's not necessarily about like he's what's it called?
I don't know. I think he was disingenuous the way he talked about black culture and fatherhood and stuff like that.
I don't think so.
Like, I think sure the message of like black fatherhood and stuff like that is cool, but the way that he was using like, oh, but the culture and you're just sleeping around doing this with completely distancing any of the context of slavery and saying like, oh, that doesn't matter now. Look, Asians this. I think it was disingenuous and I think it was used in a way to spread a image of people that's messed up.
Yeah, I think he could definitely he definitely generalized a good amount. Lot. And anytime you generalize, it's, you know, you're going to say,
especially harmful.
So the only reason I would say I would give you a little bit of pushback to that is not too long ago, you were just saying he doesn't have power or like he didn't hold the MA. So now why is it harmful?
I think enough for a day. I don't think he's done anything for America to get a day.
Oh, I agree.
Like historically for a day.
We know
I'm talking about the actual content of his rhetoric.
But we know it's not about him. You know, we know the day isn't about him. 100%. Like I said, you could switch him out for anybody.
I know, but
and if it's gonna get the clicks for Trump, he's gonna do it.
I still think that's a bad thing. Like, yeah, I'm just not agreeing with the day.
But I think that's just us disagreeing with politicians. You know,
he shouldn't have gave him a day.
I think politicians would have done it. Any politician would have done it, and I think all of them would have been disingenuous. And I think all of them, we would be sitting there like, what are you talking about? I think it's only because you disagree with Charlie Kirk's messaging that this is even a topic, though.
No, he shouldn't get a day.
But hear me out. Hear me out.
Do anything. Why are you getting a day?
No. But what I'm saying is, either way, if he would have been left or right, whoever was president, would have done something similar.
And I would
agree. And I agree, but I think the only reason you're a little bit more vocal about it is because
no, I'm also
you
saying
don't like his rhetoric.
His rhetoric is I don't like his rhetoric.
And that's what I mean. I think.
But no, I would be vocal about not getting. What did
maybe
he do?
you're right. You're
like,
right.
What did he do?
Yeah.
No, honestly, like, that's like even if Joe Biden or
I think
say Kamala dies, and he was like, I'm gonna dedicate a day to Kamala.
Yeah.
What did Kamala do?
Yeah, well, I think that's when it gets back to like the conversation of
it's not about what they did. I don't like the rhetoric.
It's not about what they did because they're not doing it for that. These people are just playing the.
But that's why I disagree
the politician game. No, I agree with you. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that's where like it kind of gets into the nitty gritty and why we're like, well, I didn't like this about Charlie Kirk. It's because we're trying to put logic onto something that they didn't put any reasoning behind other than just trying to get numbers, you know? Like
on top of it, I do disagree with Kirk.
Does Charlie Kirk deserve a day? Probably not. Most likely no. Like I think if we're giving Kirk a day, sure, yeah, there's other people that definitely deserve a day before Kirk, you know, but it is what it is.
It is what it is, but
he's getting the numbers that people,
so,
you know.
It's a shame. It's a shame Trump. What politics has devolved into, but yeah, like I said, I think even after researching Kirk and seeing all the stuff that he talked about, I think I could double down on saying like, no tears for that man. That man's cooked. Oh, mama.
Sure,
you know what I mean?
Nah, I disagree. I liked some of the stuff that he would talk about. Well, I really liked his Christianity stuff for sure.
Sure.
I heard him out on a lot of like his abortion takes. I definitely understand. Back to like what we were talking about. I think. For me, it's not necessarily agreeing with these people. It's not agreeing with Ben Shapiro. It's not agreeing with Charlie Kirk. It's understanding where you're coming from. Yeah, I mean, I can understand like a Ben Shapiro when he was on talking about like, oh, we need to. Me personally, I'm putting I don't want somebody with a life to be taken away. I can understand that you feel that way. I can understand that, you know.
But then would you want, like, I guess the government to take a position on it?
Man.
That's what matters.
None of my business, man.
So you wouldn't, are you indifferent to it? Like, you don't care? Like, well, I would like it to be.
I'm in a blessed position where it doesn't really affect me, you know, which is why I can be a little bit ignorant. Now, if I had a daughter, I probably would start thinking a little bit more about it. I have a wife, but she's more, you know, obviously we're having the kid. So it's a little bit different, which we were married first, so you know we did it the right way. Not playing.
Hey, yo, respect. Hey, salute to you. You did it. You saw it the way you wanted to do it, and you did it the best as you could. So I can't even hate on that. Salute to you.
No, it's not like we no, bro. Yeah, but that's what I mean. I think for me it's like I'm all about choice. I'm all about, you know, because again, like I said before, you know, I think it's, while I understand, you know, wanting to be the voice for the third party, there is a big person of this party that's going to be largely affected. And I think just discrediting them because the other person can't speak up is totally
and that's
unfair.
Where you kind of agree with him on?
And that's where I would disagree with him on because they're on the side of, you know, life.
Well, he's saying,
you know?
Life is like,
Yeah. And while I completely agree, you know, life is beautiful. Life is, you know, like I would have hated if my parents got an abortion, you know, obviously. But it's like, at the end of the day, you know, that's a very tricky thing. I think up to the states is I personally think is a good thing.
You do?
The only reason being is because, and it might just be an ignorant take, you know, I'm not claiming that it's like science backed, you know, this isn't the Jeff Nippert theory. This is like the Eric Diaz theory, you know, like this is like
actually,
I think
science-based.
Like this has no backing whatsoever, you know, it's just personally thinking, well, why would it be harmful for the state to decide if, you know, a majority of people think this should be held this way in your state, you know, a majority of people think that way. I think that's what a democracy is. You know, that's what we're living in. You know, people get to vote and people get to say what they do. At the end of the day, you know, it falls on, you know, with that. I think if anything, that's a better, me personally, because at least if the states get to decide, you know, the people in that state get to like work on it and actually think. And then like, instead of like a countrywide thing, you know, I also think it's stupid to not have exceptions for rape and incest, you know, while I understand the whole like, also I have a question, but let's side note that question for a second.
Yeah.
But just to finish this point, while I understand the, you know, the whole like life thing, I think also forcing somebody that went through a trauma to continue to have to go through with this is crazy. But you know, at the same time, I also still understand that there could be beauty that comes out of it. You know, I've read stories of people that like have been raped, and then the child is like the love of their life, and you know, it kind of helps work with their healing and stuff. That could be the exception, or that could be, you know, the general rule. That's where I think people forget. It's like people use some of the people like them as like examples. They could be the exception. You know, there could be a large majority of women that go through with it and go, like this is just a reminder every day of something horrifying. Yeah. We don't know. And so that's why I think I think that's where I get a little bit more like on the left side of like, are you dumb? Like, no, I'm not gonna force her. Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, she didn't have a choice on the first thing, and now she's not gonna have a choice on the second one.
You're a goofball.
Yeah. But
skedaddle.
So then the question that I side noted was, we always say rape and incest. We what's that second one doing in there?
Incest.
Yeah, what's going on with that? Like, you shouldn't be doing that in the first place. like what do you mean? Like, I'm just ignorant as to what it means. Like,
yeah,
when they say incest, does that mean like,
is it like a rape incest? Like,
but then that's rape. Yeah.
That is real.
If it's optional incest, why are you having incest? Like you shouldn't just be able to like do something you shouldn't be doing.
That is a good question.
And then be like, oh, well, on top of that, let me kill this baby because it has high chances of it coming out retarded.
It's like, why are you even?
Well, yeah, you shouldn't be doing this in the first place.
What is even going on out there? Some hills have eyes.
That's why I'm saying, like, as I was saying it, rape and incest, I'm like wait, I'm just spewing out the same rhetoric that the left says. I don't know about incest. I don't know if that should be like
having incest.
Yeah,
what are y'all doing?
Like, y'all should be. Yeah,
go outside.
Yeah. That's
go to a club or something.
But I guess like, I don't know, man. I just think that's always going to be a tricky subject. You know, like I know girls in our high school that were getting fucking abortions, you know, like it is what it is, you know, I think
the ladies gonna do what they do.
I was gonna say, I think there should be a limit on how many.
You're capping it out.
Nah.
After 10, come on, man. You gotta stop this.
Even then, it's kind of like,
it's like, really 20?
I think after like,
use a condom.
Yo, hear me out.
Okay,
this is probably a very conservative thought point.
Yeah.
And this is all satire. If this ever makes it out, this is all satire, all jokes.
Effect.
Yeah,
this is not even real.
I think after like what if we do like after like you had like 10 abortions as a woman?
You know,
cut your tubes.
Just like completely get rid
punishment.
Of it.
You've been so irresponsible. Yeah. Now you can't even have any. But then also, not just to blame the woman. If you're a dude and you got like 10 chicks pregnant and they've all
count that.
Now you gotta
because like what if you wanted 10 chicks pregnant? Like it's like dude.
But
get over here, boy.
Yo, if it took 10 tries for you to finally like on the 11th one, a girl
like
agreed to keep
you're
it.
Just like, I want
that's
10
crazy.
Kids with 10 different ladies.
But that's fine. But I'm talking about abortion. Yeah, I mean, if you have
so if you
if your name is on 10 different abortion things,
and they're just like, bro, come here,
you should get snipped too. Again, satire. I don't know.
You know that would be.
But I'm thinking at some point,
number 8.
Yeah, exactly. Like, let me chill out. You know,
like
the same with like the chicks. It's like I'm on number 9. Like,
damn.
After this, I can't have one 10? For the future.
Is it at 10 or is it like
at 10? You come in for it, like, and they also go in and whatever they got to do.
That'd be pretty funny. I think I would allow that. I would like to see that happen.
Yeah.
Because how many people do you think? That's a real question. How many people do you think even hit 10?
Yeah, that's the thing too. Is like it's like okay. So another thing that Ben Shapiro brought up, which I thought was a very interesting point too. Mm-hmm. People often bring up the rape and incest, which I think he said is 10% of abortions in the country. So he's like people bring up the extreme occasions when that isn't the reasoning for a majority of the abortions. So he said, oh, I'd be willing to compromise on the rape and abortion part. I mean, rape and incest, if it meant the other 90% gets wiped away. And so I think that's where it's interesting, it's like people often tend to pick the extreme like cases. Like even you had that opinion about like the DEI where you're like, oh, people are like the story about the black dude and then other people don't qualify. People often will bring up the extreme occasions.
I'm gonna have a satirical take here. It's always the niggas with no hoes that say that. I just want to prove that out. Like this is a satirical, like on mama, like Ben Shapiro gets no hoes.
Well, he was married at a young age. He has a wife,
Yeah, that makes, you know what I'm saying? Like, look at, I'm gonna tell you right now, if I threw Ben Shapiro out here, this nigga's getting no hoes.
Okay, so also a little bit of pushback, people say, let's keep religion out of this. What does the back of your coin say?
Yeah, but
in God we trust.
Yeah.
At what point are we stopping keeping religion involved in this?
If you want to say get that out of there, sure.
Yeah, I think it's either you're all in or you're not all in.
Yeah, I agree. We got to get rid of it.
What is this? Wait.
No. I don't think we should be merging religion with state. They gotta be separate bodies.
I think if we're gonna, say we're following something, like you have people putting their hand on the Bible when they're swearing in, and then committing the worst things possible.
No, that's fucked up. That's fucked up shit.
It's like, okay, let's separate this. Like, if because also I feel like it's if you're
this is a real hot take. Do you want full church like state mixing? Like, do you like in a perfect world for you? Because I know you're like you're
in a lot perfect deeper. World for you.
We're a lot deeper into the Christianity shit. Like you're like, yeah, let's go full Christian. Like, you know what I mean? Like. Everything the Bible, like maybe not word for word, but like we're gonna be full diving deep into Christianity. Like, we're gonna establish like laws and stuff like that, Christianity style. So it's basically like the Islamic question, but for Christians. You know what I mean?
See, at first you said something about school, being involved in school. And that's the one I was like, oh, that's interesting. But once you said laws, I was like, oh yeah, that changes mindset entirely.
You see what I'm saying? Like, would you want that as a Christian man?
As a Christian man, yes.
Okay.
Because obviously those are the set of rules that I follow. Those are or I try to follow. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's the standard that I'm trying to meet. So then I would love it if we all were in agreement.
Would adultery be a crime? But I don't know the Bible like that.
Well, technically the Bible even says just looking at another woman lustfully is adultery.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, technically, if we're talking about everything is based on Christianity, nobody's going to jail. Oh, everybody's going to be judged by God.
So what would that look like?
I don't know. I think I can't. I could never put myself in that position because of the fact of thinking like that. Because I feel like you are excluding a lot of people, and I was raised on the American mindset of democracy and diversity, and I think. Once we start only doing Christian values, I don't want it. I start thinking immediately, oh, like a lot of my Muslim friends are going to be feeling uncomfortable or persecuted for things. Excuse me. And, my mindset goes immediately to that and goes, damn, I don't want that to happen either. I do think it's a great idea to have like Christian values or religious values up until like probably like 5th grade or something for kids, because I think that sets a standard for how to be a good person, and kids and people, tiny human beings learning on how to be good people. Okay. And then I think after that you kind of let them free to like, but obviously I'm biased because I'm saying Christian values.
Yeah,
but it's like,
that's what I'm saying. So like,
it's like Muslim values are gonna be left out.
If it was like, say that was like a standard in school where they did introduce it, would it be okay? Like, would you be all right with different schools having different religions available? So like one kid might be Islamic. Like they'd have their up until 5th grade, if there was an Islamic school, that's what they would teach. Like Buddhists, like would you push America in that direction?
Actually, I think you're making a very good point. I think we keep religion in schools up until like 5th grade, and your parents put like what religion they are in the beginning, and then they would send you like similar to like when you go to like history or something and you go to like a different teacher, you go to a teacher based on that religious, so you get to learn a little bit more about those religious values. You get me? And then like obviously if you're like agnostic or like fucking like, an atheist, you go to like a teacher teaching you from like a good person. Yeah, I don't know, like who's a good person? You're learning about George Washington, I guess, and like what made him good or something, or like Honest Abe, and like you're learning. That's what you go down the list of presidents on what made them good, and now you're basing your values on good presidents. You get me? Okay. I think if that's your agnostic or atheist that's point of view. But then if you go to like if you check Muslim, you have like a good Muslim teacher. Like I don't know what they're called. Yeah, you have a shake. Yeah, whatever. I thought you said. I thought you said like a handshake. I was like, no, they got handshakes.
It's like SHEIK, I think.
Oh, that's like their teachers.
That's their pastors.
Oh yeah, exactly. You have somebody that comes in and teaches them. Yeah, I think even they would agree with that. And then like if you marked Jew, you have somebody, a rabbi or something. Yeah, rabbi. Right. Come in and teach them Talmud, for like an hour.
The Talmud is just the Old Testament,
bro.
I'm pretty sure, or is that the separate?
Yeah. It is the Old Testament because they think that it stops there.
Okay. Everybody has their own names and then stuff like that.
Quran is like the
Quran.
Yeah, bro. I don't speak like proper. Like, but the Quran I think is like through Muhammad, and then like they think Jesus was like a prophet. They think he was a cool dude and like he was good. They just don't think
they don't think he was the Messiah. They believe Muhammad is the Messiah.
No, I thought they said Muhammad was just another prophet. Oh yeah, the Messiah isn't here yet. Because he hasn't accomplished what the prophecy that Ezekiel is going to be back, and then the prophet's going to
100%. But they don't believe Jesus to be the Son of God.
Yeah.
There it is.
But my boy JC, what he say?
I don't know.
He said they asked him, "Yo, wasn't Ezekiel supposed to come?" And he says Ezekiel did come in the form of John the Baptist, fulfilling the prophecy. Because now I'm here.
Yeah, well,
so I don't know, man. I don't know.
Dude, that's the big between the Islam boys.
I don't know if I mentioned this, but like that video of that one pastor talking about something, and Muhammad is still in his grave, and Buddha is still in his grave, and Confucius is still in his grave. But one man.
Oh, so you were out there, you were hyped?
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, bro, you can't tell me that shit isn't hard. Like, yeah, bro. Like that shit is hard. But yeah, I think that's a great idea to have like everybody kind of tap into their religious like things at a young age, build them up to like come up with those values, and then like, but then like, yeah, you're right. You start to confuse like what is allowed to go on with schools and religion and what isn't.
My take is a lot more probably like anarchist. Like you're probably like, damn, this nigga just wants to like. I don't want lawlessness, but I think you should just throw that shit out the fucking window. Not when it comes to. I think it's up to us as people. Yeah. If you want to raise your kid in a more Christian style or Muslim, that you're free to do that. I think the religious expression is cool, but when it comes to school and shit, man, fuck all that shit, nigga. What the fuck?
Just keep talking.
You know what I mean? Like, what does Islam? What does Christianity? What does all these things have to do? I think at this point, we're not on a philosophical debate about where good comes from. I think we have a nice basis of what good is and imposing on other people's rights, which is wrong or right. You know what I mean? You can have a good moral standpoint without religion. So I think we can just rock with that and not really bring religion into it, because it gets very messy between whatever or whoever, you know, or whatever religious body is there. So, you know, fuck, just leave them out of it completely. And then, you know, you're free to practice what you want. You can have your mosque.
Even schools.
You know, fuck that. Law. Yeah, no law, no school. They should have no, because then who's to say what's right and what's wrong? Especially when it comes to monotheism, every monotheistic God believes it's the right one.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a religious debate. And I feel like that's to be had amongst peers and not to be inscribed in law.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Adultery, it's fucked up. Should it be a crime? Nigga, no.
You don't think so?
No. And
yeah.
Sometimes people are just going to fuck you. Sometimes niggas are going to fuck your bitch.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do about it. But sit there and take it. Like, you know?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Like, I understand, like, yeah. If I got cheated on, would I want to be able to take him to court? For sure. Like, and if you want to say you had like, you got married maybe, and there's some like, hey, she cheated on me, I should be able to get 100% and like no alimony or something like that. Yeah. If you want to make that work, sure.
I think that's already like a law thing.
But I don't think
outside of religion.
Adultery itself, but like, bitch, I'm trying you for adultery, motherfucker. Or you're going 10 years in jail, bitch. Like,
yeah. That's the one. Like, yeah.
Like, that's good.
Just cause you like cheated out of nowhere, now you gotta go to jail.
She's like, nigga, I call you. I saw you. You were. You know. I saw you with a dude. Straight to jail.
I saw you with a dude.
Well, yeah, because you know, shit gets tricky like that in certain religions. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be able to persecute nobody because, like, hey, my brother. You know, I saw you with homie over there. You know, trying to get slimed.
I think that's also like you
know,
counter what we stand for. Yeah.
So I say we let it rock. Like, listen, we have a base curriculum, and whatever you want to do, you do it.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't impede on other people's, you know, rights and liberties, bro, do what you do.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely see that.
Yeah, you know.
Have you heard about the Charlie Kirk shooter messages?
No, I have not. When I saw that,
I was
looking at like, what is that? What is the message?
Let me tell you, I'm going down a rabbit hole.
Oh no.
Like,
I'm
this
ready.
is
I'm here.
The craziest rabbit hole I've been down. It's like low key, a little bit like I was gonna say scary, but not really, because it doesn't affect me in any way, shape, or form. But it's after he was arrested, they have a bunch of like transcripts of his conversations. Mm-hmm. We don't know if it's like through text or if it happened. They claim Discord, and then Discord came out and said that did not happen on our platform.
They said, nigga, that was not us.
Yeah. And their conversations between him and his partner, his roommate,
the Jen.
Yes.
Were they romantically involved?
According to the text messages, yes. Because he keeps referring to, I think it's a her. I think they're her. Sorry, not that it's a her. I think they're her. And I think he keeps referring to her in the text messages as my love.
Oh.
Or love and stuff. Okay. And so I think like, or I'm only worried about you. Okay. Now, the reason this gets dodgy, and my God, let me tell you, it's so rough for anybody if you have Candace Owens on your ass. Because fucking hell, you make even the slightest slip up, she's on your ass, bro. Oh my God. And I don't even agree with her on everything, but I do agree that she's like gonna come after you and everything. I think she's
a little too aggressive.
I love it. I love it. The reason why is because what you were saying before about like the podcasters, like you gotta throw up the set, like whatever set you rep and like stand for it. She throws up her set and she's gonna ride or die for that shit no matter what. And I think it makes great for like if that's what you're looking for, and I think it makes great for debates. She's great at debating, you know? And so I think it's just like fucking hell. I watched an hour-long video of her breaking down these text messages, and then I watched, I forget who it was, this other YouTuber just breaking it down. Fucking hell. It's because these text messages, like, she did an exercise, and it's actually really funny, where on the beginning of her video, she goes, I want you to search up the word vehicle in your text messages and see when was the last time you used the word vehicle. And I think a lot of us can probably like think like
a long time
ago, or like she said, like she had mentioned the one of the people on her team, because she did it with her whole team. She told them to search it up, and they searched it up, and it was like text messages from like the DMV. So I think like the same with me. I did it. I searched up vehicle on my text messages. Again, DMV messages popped up. So it's like, she's right about that. I forget what else. There was like another word that was used, but basically her main point with that was that he used the word vehicle like 3 times in the transcript of this text messages. And then he also used like his phrasing for things. It's like, if you and me are going to commit a crime, which one am I going to do? Am I going to like, or not me and you, if I'm going to commit a crime, or for your point of view, you're going to commit a crime.
Yeah.
Do we text each other A, absolutely no details of the crime, or B, every single detail of the crime?
Okay.
Which one are you going to do? Let's play that game.
I'm texting no details.
Oh, well, this guy texted every single detail.
Oh, she's saying
according.
Okay. I see.
According, like literally every single detail.
He's a fall guy.
It feels that way.
Okay.
Bro, the text messages literally go, I did it. And I what's it called? I hid the gun here. I'm still in the area waiting for them to do this. I changed out of my shooter clothes. That's another big one. I changed out of my shooter clothes into regular clothes. I'm doing this and that. Like he literally I threw the gun in the bush. I did this. And so it's really like, and the way he's talking, it's like either this is fake or this guy's really fucking poetic. Like this guy.
He was very descriptive.
Descriptive, but also like fucking hell.
Do you have some of like the actual messages?
Bro,
you gotta remember he's from Utah though.
And that's what the grace I'm trying to give him a little bit, you know.
Yeah, he might just be weird.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So top one, it goes, drop what you're doing right now. Look under my keyboard.
Okay.
So then the roommate supposedly looks under the keyboard and found a note saying, I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and I'm going to take it. Where's this note? The roommate apparently tore it up and they couldn't find it. But
that makes sense.
But she took a picture of it on her phone, and for some reason it's on her phone. Okay. Every moment, you know? And she goes, what? You're joking, right? He goes, I'm still okay, my love. But I'm stuck in Krem at the town that they're in for a little while longer. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I got to grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I'm sorry to involve you. She goes, you weren't the one that did it, right? I'm sorry. First of all, hitting all the notes. We're glad that he texted because confession off rip fire. Like straight confession, not even denial. Just
said,
like,
no, I did.
Yeah.
She's like, you're not the one that did it, right? It was me.
I thought they grabbed the person. No, they grabbed some crazy old dude that they interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from the drop point. That's another one. People are like,
the drop
point. Who the fuck you? Like what young person, regular person uses drop point? But whatever.
I mean, unless you play video games. That's something right?
I had a plan to grab my rifle from the drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's still one vehicle lingering. Okay, all right. Why? Why did I do it? Yeah, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I am able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Why is he still snitching on himself?
How long has he been in a relationship with this?
I don't know. But
with this individual,
he doesn't even like fully answer the why. He like says, I had enough of his hatred. And then immediately in the same message goes, but don't worry. If I'm able to retrieve my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they have moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it. It's like, why are you self-snitching so much? Either this guy's dumb or like, how long have you been planning this? A bit over a week. I can get close to it. But a bit over a week. I can get close to it, but there's a squad car parked right in front. I think they already swept that spot, but I don't want to chance it. This is when it gets a little tricky too. Mm-hmm. After they found out it was this guy, and Candace Owens, just to give a little bit of context, already says that there's a bit of a problem with the timing, with the timing of these text messages, because they hadn't even announced that they arrested the old dude yet, or like what they did, like why.
Well, he probably saw the old dude get grabbed, right?
Fair, yeah.
Or I don't know if he stayed
around.
I don't know if he had a scope or binocular. I don't know how this man operated.
Also, the fact that he's still in the area while they're scoping out the area and stuff, it's like he it just seems a little bit like my boy was like still right there the whole time. And then it gets tricky because when they...
It was 200. It was 2 football fields.
Yeah.
So he shot him.
Insane, yo.
I don't know I don't know if that's like I don't know too much about marksmanship.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to firearms. I don't know if like with a high like power rifle, if that's hard to hit or not.
I heard some people say that it is, but then...
I
they're right. There are people on the right. And then I heard some people
say it was like,
say like, yo, I'm 16 and I shoot every day. And I could do that easily.
And I know he's probably... It seemed like he was familiar with fire. Exactly. So that's the thing. Like, I don't know how hard it is. And I probably couldn't do that shit because I'm not good though.
And the tricky part about this is his roommate, girlfriend, partner.
Yeah, his lover.
She was arrested because of this, because of them being.
But she's cooperating. Right?
And she's cooperating.
Yeah.
Her side of the text messages have not been released.
Okay. Well, they probably don't have a court order probably to search her phone, no?
Well, it doesn't matter. They have his phone. They have... It's not like...
Well, I'm assuming it's
either they
messages associated, like, so all her, like, so think about it. It's probably, like, relating to just him. And they only have her and his conversation, but not her whole phone on her side. No, maybe she texted somebody.
What I mean is they don't have... Like, they haven't released... Like, from here on out...
Oh, you don't see what she's saying?
Yeah, from here on out, it's only what he's saying.
Okay.
You don't see what she's saying to him anymore.
Okay.
And then also, a thing that some people are saying is very weird is she was taken in and they just let her out. Obviously, if she's innocent, obviously if like she's cooperating, she's going to be let out. Apparently, Candace Owens spoke to like the family of the roommate. They're like, yeah, even we were surprised that she got let out so easily. That was the roommate's mother that said that. That was like, even we were surprised by how easy that was for her to get out. We thought she was going to be in there for like a lot longer. And then another weird point is that they had just raided his apartment at night. They raided all of his electronics. They took all that shit.
Yeah.
The next morning, the governor, where it happened,
he said some wild shit.
Well, he came out and he said,
I hate to say it was one of us.
But then he also says, and yeah, we have the person in custody, case closed. well, why are you so quick to close this case? You haven't like gone through like a lot of his stuff. Like you haven't really like, there's a lot left open to this case. So people are like, why were they so quick to like shut down the case? Yeah, to just be like, guys, we got him.
I'm assuming there's so many things that could happen because like devil's advocate, it would look bad on the police to not have any suspect and have no trace of anything whatsoever.
100%. But also to just immediately close out the case. It is a little.
The police, they did their job. That's like the only that's the angle that I would try to approach it from. You know what I mean?
And so some people are saying that they think the roommate was involved in some way, shape, or form.
Maybe she was. I don't want to say anything that's like maybe she was or she wasn't, but maybe she could have also got a deal.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then another thing is the change of clothes that he was in.
Yeah.
He like apparently like said they
he switched twice, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, apparently he changed back. So he went in maroon shirt. I forget, like blue jeans or like blue shorts, something like that.
Yeah.
Then he changed into a black top, blue jeans.
Yeah. And then he went back.
And then he went back to maroon and blue.
Yo, Loki, man's had it.
But
locked.
So then like the thing is, people were like, it was very weird because he was arrested, I think like anywhere from 24 to 72 hours later after the shooting. Mm-hmm. And apparently when he got arrested, he was still wearing the maroon shirt and blue. And people were like,
if he thought so far into it.
He also went home.
Yeah.
My boy ain't shower. My boy ain't do nothing. Like my boy ain't like I guess we could just put it up to like ignorance, you know?
Shit.
And like, it's just like the very weird part. Either again, this guy's really stupid.
But he was smart at the same time.
Or either
I understand. It was inconsistent because the thought of being able to switch clothes twice, you would think he would dump everything, and he was able to collect the rifle from the scene. You would think he would do a better job at the very end to like close it out.
And then he's also texting her, "I'm wishing I had circled back." Blah blah blah. Where was it? Only thing left was my rifle wrapped in a towel. I hope they don't find my prints. Remember how I was engraving bullets? So it's like everything. He's giving out every detail. You know what's funny?
He might have done it only because he engraved
Hell
Divers.
Yeah.
Like thing. Like I remember that.
So that's what I'm saying. It's the only details that like, or the only thing that's weird to me is either he was very smart in planning this and super dumb and leaving everything in text messages, like confessing to
amateur,
every detail.
Well, he's also what, 20?
Or but again, to be able to shoot that, come up with a plan of
firearms.
Come up with a plan of I'm gonna bring a change of clothes and then I'm gonna stake out the area. I'm gonna have a drop point for my gun.
All right, so
I'm gonna wrap it in a towel, drop my gun off.
This is my pushback officially.
Yeah.
Okay, and Hell Divers, I know this is gonna sound crazy, but you can call in drop pods.
No,
get things.
Yeah,
No, this is my official if I was gonna ever try to push it back and fight the theory, because it seems like he was a gamer because he was engraving bullets. All these things are weird, but even his terminology, it seems like he was affiliated with some video games.
Yeah.
Drop points are kind of a thing in Hell Divers, so that language doesn't really skew too far from it.
I don't even mean just the language. I mean like
I'm
just such a smart thing to plan.
Yeah, in totality, right? I think the language isn't too different. I can kind of see like at first it's kind of weird, but now that I know that he was engraving Helldiver and like certain video game like terminology, I'm not too like I can see where he probably got those words like vehicle and drop point.
Why he's like talking a little weird, you know. Weird.
Also, he's 20, so maybe he was nervous and he was talking to his little boo thing, like his little lady, like. And so that's why he gave her detail. Don't get me wrong, saying like, "Damn, my gun that's in wrapped in a towel with my fingerprints in the bush on the left side of Westfield," like that's kind of cooked. Like, okay, he was kind of talking a lot, but and you know maybe because how young he was, he didn't really like think he kind of didn't wrap it up as clean as he wanted it to be, which is why he made as many mistakes as he did.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
You know, and so then, that would be my like scope on it and be like, yo, if I was ever gonna push that back, I'd probably be like, well, I mean, he was still 20, he was a gamer, so he, you know, the terminology words make sense, and the reason why he left all these things behind and he's texting all these people is because he's young, he never tried to hit before.
Yeah. And then
the reason why they want to close it so fast because the police would look like straight shit.
You know, also
if they didn't have a suspect.
Thank God that he included the part of since Trump got into office. My dad has been pretty diehard MAGA. Thank God he included that. Because if not, we would have assumed that he was MAGA too.
That's real.
But he included that to make sure, thank God that he did. So I think at the very least, I can understand why some people are suspicious. I left watching the Candace Owens clip of her breaking down why she's suspicious. She has some other things too, like the New York Post dropping like certain still images instead of videos. They got access to the video but decided to drop still images. And then like even then she says the New York Post has like ties to like potentially being like an FBI news outlet to try to sway media, which is why like after Epstein was killed, they like posted like, no, but look, we got new exclusive footage of like when he killed himself. And so it's like she's saying that like it feels very weird. I can definitely see why it feels weird. Now, do I also think that it's deeper? I don't know. It's fun to entertain.
I'm always pro not trusting the government and trying to hold them accountable.
Yeah.
So for this instance, I don't even think it's necessarily bad, but I won't lie. It might also just be they're trying to reach.
I think also for me, my point of view is while I think a majority of this might be real, I also think some of these text messages might have been faked. Because like you said, we got to lock this guy in right now. We know he's the guy. How do they know? I don't know. Maybe they had a snitch. Maybe it was the person cooperating. Either way, we know he's the guy.
The police will be quick to close this shit.
And we need to publicly to close this.
They arrested the wrong guy.
Well,
and then they said, we have a suspect.
Do you know about that guy? About the old guy that they were talking about?
Wasn't he was involved in something else. I know that.
Brother, he announces, I'm the killer. I shot him, boy. They arrest him.
Yeah.
Then he goes and says, I was just trying to like divert you guys from like the real killer because fuck Charlie Kirk. Yeah. And then for some reason he goes, but go ahead and search my phone. You'll find real things to incriminate me. And they search his phone and they find the child exploitation pictures from kids ranging from 5 to 12
so
nude and he's like a pedophile.
I mean, that's
like, okay. But why did he also like give up that? It's so just
unless he's that one. I'm not gonna lie.
Who knows?
I'm baffled.
Yeah,
I don't even know what's going on.
I'm like, bro, this was such a crazy like event. Like, this is definitely going down in the history books.
I can admit that
because whether you think Kirk was important or not,
it's going down.
At the very least, this is a crazy situation. Like at the very least, but everything that played into it. And even like how much the government is like overdoing it, and everything is just playing into like,
I'm pro is going on. Be as skeptical as you can be. Don't get me wrong, but I'm pro. Yeah, be skeptical. I think all these theories and stuff are good, and always keep asking questions.
Yeah,
but there might also it depends. It depends. I do think this one might have a couple answers that might not be like as cool to like. It's not as the real answer is probably just like fuck. Like, I do think the police are scrambling, especially in Utah, and it happened in a red state. And they arrested the wrong suspect. Mind you, this nigga was, I don't even know, I can't even describe as to why they would do that. Like, he'd be like, it's me, and then have child porn. Like, don't know. I can't even understand that.
Yeah.
But on top of needing a suspect, arresting the wrong suspect, and then formulating what the suspect was on top of it. There were, I think, the police, especially, I don't know if it's like the FBI were involved. All I know is they're probably like, God, we're cooked. The district was like, we're fucked.
You know what's low-key my theory on what like really went down here?
What?
I think they probably used some, like the FBI or CIA probably used some really invasive, maybe illegal ways to find this guy.
That wouldn't be the first time.
And because they're like you said, they're like, fuck, we got to make this quick. We got to wrap this up. Like this guy right now is embarrassing us.
Yeah.
And we got to wrap this up. So I think they used maybe some illegal methods to, find this guy.
I would believe that. I wouldn't be surprised.
And then they go, fuck, how are we going to like explain that this is the guy? It's like, well, he did send a couple of text messages like that. Let's also edit in a few. Like,
I dropped the gun at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah. I honestly, I wouldn't even be too surprised at that.
And then the reason they're working with the roommate is because, hey, we have this. They probably also did some I wouldn't be surprised illegal shit there too, where it's like, we're going to involve you too in this case if you don't keep quiet.
Yeah, but listen,
you know, and it's like,
there's two ways to go about it.
Yeah. It's like either you say all these messages were real from the
and we'll cut out your part.
Yeah. Or,
you know,
you can announce that they were
what
fake.
The government does. They'll be like, hey, you have incriminating messages and we will send you to jail for 100 years. You'll die.
Or even it could be something as simple as like, especially because, you know, she's a transgender.
Complacent.
It could be something as simple as like maybe she's taking some like drugs she shouldn't be taking, or like not in a legal way.
Anything
that they could find,
they're gonna be like, we're gonna give you the max time, and you'll never see the light of day again.
And even if you do make it out, you know your school is gonna have to disown you for this.
We're gonna blacklist you everywhere. Your life will be over.
Yep, I think that's where the truth lies. I think that's where it is.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm not full Candace Owens conspiracy theory that
but I wouldn't be surprised if there was a little bit of like,
yep. I think that's where we often. Like, do I think that our government was behind 9/11? I don't think so. I
want to say our government.
Do I think they may have known and either were negligent or maybe they knew that they needed this? Yeah.
No, I'm with you because you know why? I don't think it was necessarily our government, but maybe people in our government influenced by another government.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to catch my drift, I don't want to get too controversial. But I didn't say it.
I'm trying to remember the quote. There was a crazy quote, and it just so happens 9/11 happens.
What was it? I'm curious. With great power comes great responsibility. Like.
No, bro. After listening to our episodes, I'm like, I want to get things a little bit more right. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I get fired. I was like, wait a minute.
Yo,
I'm sorry, please.
Let me also check on the cameras while I'm getting this quote up. Yeah, let me tell you, I love ChatGPT.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'd be like, ChatGPT, am I right? And then I'll just frame it and I'll ask you the question where I'll know to say I'm right.
Okay, so it was in this company's 2000 report, the Project for New American Century. Mm-hmm. Just real quick, just who are they? It was a Washington, D.C. based neoconservative think tank that ran from 1997 to about 2006. The group pushed for U.S. global military dominance and was heavily focused on reshaping the Middle East. Just to give you a little bit of context, in their 2000 report, Rebuilding America's Defenses, they explicitly said that transformational change was likely to be slow, absent some catastrophic and catalyzing event like a new Pearl Harbor. And then the next year, 9/11 happens. And what happens? We move in on the Middle East.
Well,
so the theory there that I have, that I agree with, that I've heard, I don't think we were necessarily like devious in like planning 9/11, but I definitely think that like either one of two conspiracy theories, either somebody knew and they like that there was intel about it and they were just like, nah, this ain't real, and they just didn't act on it, and then it happened. It's like, fuck, we didn't know. Now we can't release these 9/11 files because technically we did get news about this before. Or the more fun one is they learned about it, they sent it up the chain of command, and the chain of command went, well, do you know how this is going to benefit us? And they kind of just stepped back and watched. Just let it happen. See, because then you also have like, what's the other building that exploded? The building 7, something like that.
Yeah.
That exploded, and you know, and then like also like the way the towers. I don't know, man.
They did.
I just know that our government is behind some crazy shit. So do I think that they would do something like, you know, like illegal to find the guy that killed Charlie Kirk that's causing like this big outrage and stuff?
They always have.
Yeah. Do I think like it stopped with, who was it, Bush, that like you used our fucking information, like our phones, tapped our phones to find like our information about like sleeper cells and stuff? Do I believe they would use that still to find the killer of Charlie Kirk? Yeah, probably.
100%.
You know, like,
well, my theory is, I don't know if you ever heard of the dancing Israelis. I'm not gonna speak to it.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah.
I do think it's you know. I think you should just try to find out. You know, learn about it just a little bit.
Shout out the Puerto Ricans, man.
And then just
you know why I say that?
Sit. Why?
Because the lady that called it in was Puerto Rican. Yeah. She goes, "Yo, there's these Israelis dancing outside.
Are they the Boricuas?"
Now, counter argument. A lot of people saw things that were happening,
real,
and from a distance, and handled it however they reacted. Now, did a lot of people randomly pull up a van hours before it happened? You know, like, did a lot of people end up getting arrested and then finding out that they had ties to, like, I think some government-backed Israeli company? I don't know. I don't know enough. You know,
would it have benefited the war in the Middle East? Hey, I guess we'll never know. You know what I mean?
Right. It's things like that really do spook me and go.
That, yeah, right. You're like,
I don't. But again, some people say, some defense, that there were, or that Israel knew that there were plans for something like that, but also we knew.
Yeah.
Also, other countries knew that there were attacks similar to that being planned. But not everybody, like, not, some people claim that nobody knew for sure what was happening.
Yeah.
So maybe these people had heard about it,
you know,
and just went like, yo, let's see if this happens. The truth may be boring, you know?
But, you know, it just might.
It might be.
For some reason, I don't think it was, but you know what I mean?
Or if we're going based off everything, you know, Epstein technically was wait, even after that, didn't they like vote? Didn't they vote to like not release the Epstein files?
The day Charlie Kirk got smacked?
I don't know, man.
I guess we'll never know. Like I said,
I know nothing. I just know
it definitely raises my eyebrow, but you know, I'll put it back down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I will put it back down.
Yeah.
Like, there's someone out there that some of these things are crazy.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the judges get murked? Like there was a guy that dressed up in a mask and just started sliming out judges.
Not at all.
And then apparently he sent text messages confirming, like, it was the same situation. He sent like text messages confirming that it was him. And he was like, yeah, I did this. This is exactly what I did.
That's actually crazy. Yeah, I guess it's not rare for like people to commit crimes and then
just
admit to them over text.
Detail.
Yeah, in like very
very, very incriminating detail.
Who knows,
like, hey,
man?
this is exactly why I did it on this date.
I think this also taps into something that I have written down, which was the dangers of social media. Do you believe that there's like we live in a dangerous time with how quickly things spread? And I think the big reason why I also say that is because like 30 minutes after the Charlie Kirk death, I saw the video of him being shot and everything.
Actually, I put it on Instagram. I just want to get
Nipsey Hussle death. I saw it. XX when Tentacion, when he got killed, watched his dead corpse there. PNB Rock watched the video. Do you think it's kind of like do you think there's like a danger behind like the internet and how fast information spreads and how much negativity could be possibly being spread throughout social media?
Yes. Like, I think no matter which way you flip it, there's always going to be a danger of how fast something happens with no context and no follow-up information and the rate that it does spread. But it's like a good and a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like unfiltered, a lot of propaganda could be pushed very easily, very quickly, depending
is
on
being pushed. Yeah.
What, like, even them trying to identify who the shooter was and what his ties were.
Yeah.
No matter which side got what first, it was dangerous no matter what.
Yeah.
And it had a certain subset of people say, hey, fuck this nigga, let's kill this guy.
Yeah.
And another subset of people being like, wait a minute, guys. Let's mental health. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's dangerous in a way, but just to be able to get raw information, like there was no editing of whatever video. Yeah. It just happened and somebody posted it and it spreads around. Like having that truth, even though as gruesome as it is, that reality with no obscurity, I think is not a bad thing. So I think that's a good thing.
So personalize it a little bit. How is it like have you ever like checked in with yourself mentally? Like have you ever like been like, yo, I'm seeing too much negative shit, or like, yo, it's too much for today, you know, like anything like that?
As fucked as it can sound, when it comes to death, I feel completely desensitized to me. I've seen so many people I think just die. Like you said, you just open Instagram, somebody getting slimed. You'll just see a horrific car accident, or you'll see somebody in Brazil just get absolutely clapped. So like when it comes to just the image of death and people getting shot, I don't necessarily feel any way anymore.
Well, not even just that, but also like
and I was gonna just like
keep on, all the, like rhetoric being spread online, like you said, like how like, you know, the Chinese bot accounts that have been proven to be a real thing. Now they just spread, you know, this rhetoric and try to force their ideas onto you. Like, have you ever like actually sat back and been like, yo, I'm tired of this shit?
In that regard, this is gonna sound so crazy, and you're like, what is wrong with this person? But when it comes to like black pill, red pill, that kind of stuff,
blue pill, red pill, but
no, but
you want to make everything black?
No. I'm saying when it comes to the dating scene, you know what the black pill is?
No,
it's like, oh, if I'm not 6'3" and make $500,000, no bitches are gonna want.
God,
that's what the black pill is.
Okay,
it's like you have to look a certain way. If you don't look a certain way,
why is it called black pill?
I don't know why it's called the black pill.
I know red pill, blue pill was because of like the Matrix.
So the red pill is more like fresh and fit, and the black pill is like straight doomer pill. Like you're like, oh if I'm not a 6'3" Chad, I'm cooked. I'm getting no hose.
All right.
So I think I felt more of that than I did just seeing, because you know what it is?
Yeah.
As sad as this is gonna sound, I've seen so much death my whole life.
Yeah.
Like just unfiltered, just because you have unfiltered access to the internet, that I don't even feel. I feel no way about it. It's just like, well, that nigga's dead now. I can't do nothing about it. But when it comes to stuff like that, and when you're a developing mind, that shit gets toxic really, really fast.
Yeah.
And until like, even I have friends that suffer from it now, kind of. There's a lot of like relationship expectations, and you know, the same way that women were kind of insecure about their bodies because they see other people.
Yeah.
I think men, and young men at that, are going through that right now, which is why you have the red pill and the black pill, and it's very negative. And until you like have to sit there and like basically get away from that, you get lost in the sauce.
Yeah. I think also like a big one that like you're like, similar to what you were talking about is like I don't know how to word it, but like I guess like career expectation too is like, you know, you see people at like 19 years old saying, I make $100,000 a month because of boo. And then like you see other people like at like 20 something and they're like on a yacht somewhere. And so it's like, does that also like affect like the same way? The main reason I even brought this up is because I've been like kind of taking like a social media fast for the last like month now. I think I'm on week 3, where from Monday to Friday, I don't go on social media.
Strong man.
Completely avoid social media. On the weekends, I'll let myself doom scroll a little bit, you know, get caught up in some bullshit. But from Monday to Friday, absolutely no social media. And the reason I even mentioned it is because it's like, once I hop on, immediately what I see is people's opinions on so-and-so. Yeah, I mean, it's like, whether it literally can be about anything. That's what I noticed. We could be talking about pasta, or we could be talking about fucking Charlie Kirk's death. And there's equally going to be people in the comments arguing why one is good and why one is bad, and it's not even like always like healthy conversations. It's like, you don't like pasta, you're fucking stupid, blah, blah, blah. Your mom should die. And it's like, what the fuck is going on?
It's very polarizing.
Yeah, like, and that's why I was like, I feel more positive now not being on social media.
You know what's funny? That's the black pill thing. It's the exact same thing I'm saying. I've seen so many people, they're like you said, the extreme negatives. Like, oh no, I'm never gonna be able to do this, or I hate this, and I do that. Where it's like, naturally, I know it's gonna sound like some Crystal Rock shit from like, you know, the bad bitch from Crystal Rock, but unironically speaking, we're sponges naturally.
Yeah.
And a lot of what we are surrounded by, we're going to adapt to.
Yeah. 100%.
So I feel like when you really just be sitting there consuming all, whether it be like polarizing and you're on one side, and it's just like, oh, all it is negativity, or even on the opposite end, it's just obscene like positivity for no reason.
Yeah.
You get sucked in, and you eventually just like start believing it because you're around it so much.
Yeah.
So it's like, like I think I've had a lot of conversations with younger men in my life that have a lot of hard times like dating, and stuff like that. But when I look at the content and the things that they consume and surround themselves by, it's like, of course you feel that way.
Yeah,
like, you've never seen nothing by it because whether we like to believe it or not, our feeds are catered to keep our attention, no matter the cost. Like,
100%.
There is no right or wrong when it comes to the algorithm. Its main goal is to keep you where you are. So if you are drawn to negativity, it will keep you.
Yep. 100%.
And until you understand that, like, you're sucked in. You know what I mean? Like, not to be weird or glaze anybody, but you know what I mean? Like, individuals that are capable of so much, but for some reason they're just like stuck in these like ruts that they can't seem to get themselves out. I'm like, bro, why you gotta get off? Like, unironically, you gotta get. It's that damn phone. Sometimes it really is. That damn phone.
It really is. Yeah.
Like, bro, what are you talking about?
How do you like tend to like? I guess my question, especially because you're in a relationship, how do you manage, and especially as men, I think obviously we can't speak about women, but I think social media presents this definition of man. You get me? Whether it be in a relationship, whether it just be in your own life. You know, I get told on a day-to-day for some reason I'm not a man. Like, if I look on social media, I find a new reason why I'm not a man.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I guess I'm just a bitch ass nigga. I'm
sorry. Okay. And then, so how do you manage that? And then also in your relationship, how do you not let social media influence or at least direct where your relationship should be going or is heading?
Part of it is luck. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I have the strongest mental fortitude, because I don't.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of access to whether it be strong men or strong like father figures in my life to see how they handle situations and how I should and how I would like to handle situations. On top of seeing positive role models in shows that replicate such things to enforce those positive aspects of my life. Yeah. So I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, like, I just surrounded my, you know what I mean? I just saw those negativity things and I just didn't buy into them. But I was just exposed to a lot more better outcomes and positive outcomes and positive views on relationships and how you should treat a woman, how you shouldn't, by like real niggas around me.
Yeah.
So when I see these people online say these things, I have literal real life examples to be like, I know that nigga's straight capping out his ass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Other people aren't afforded the same luxury, so I'm not going to sit here and, you know what I mean, pretend that I'm this nigga that I'm not.
Yeah.
I was just lucky enough and blessed enough to be around people and situations of other my life and make it through certain spots to be like, oh shit, all right, that's not exactly what
yeah.
So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was grateful in that way. So I just, being that I already have that when I approach social media, I have that already in my mind, and I just try to spend the least amount of time on it if it's not to like benefit me.
Yeah.
I try to use it as a tool to just improve myself more than like look at certain things. Yeah. Because it goes down the rabbit hole so quick.
For sure.
Where it's like, fuck, you know?
Damn.
But what about you? How would you approach that? Especially because, you know, I know you're coming out of your father and all this stuff. And, you know, you got your wife. I know you're probably not like, get your bitch. Like,
well, first of all, let me tell you, I'm real jealous of your ability to say the N-word.
You know?
It really like emphasizes your point, bro. Like, it really like it's such an impactful word when used correctly.
Yeah, like
it's like it really sits you. Like, you're sitting, dude doesn't hit the same.
Yeah, but like a real ass dude.
Yeah. It's like, all right. If anything, it kind of takes you out.
Yeah, you're like, this nigga said dude.
But then it's like when the N-word is used properly, it's like damn. You know, like, I'm surprised Martin Luther King ain't use it more. I feel like everybody would be like agree more.
My Kuvi on. Like,
yeah,
my
like,
brother.
But no, it's really interesting. You know, it's really, really interesting because like I don't even know. Like, I like to think oftentimes I'm more than just like I can't be influenced by what I see online, or like what I see online. Like, if somebody says like, oh, you're a bitch if you're doing this as a man, like, blah, blah, blah. Say, I don't go fuck you. I mean, your opinion of me doesn't matter as much as like the opinion of, you know, my wife. Like, I don't give a fuck, you know. But then also, like, it's like, I think for me the biggest thing is, like you said, the algorithm is there to keep you on, and it knows I like dumb shit, but it also knows I like smart shit. You know, I like listening to like, whether it be people on the left, people on the right talking, whatever. I like listening, you know, and trying to hear you out. And I think the biggest curse that social media is for me is a time sucker. because no matter what, I'm gonna be sitting there
for like 4 hours.
And yeah, you can make a good argument, and I'm like, fuck, that was good, man. And I'm sitting here scrolling, I'm sitting here reading the comments. So that's like the hard part of it, you know. I think less like how it affects like me as a person. I think you're right. Like my male figures around me, I think have a better, stronger influence than anything social media could ever have. But I think also for me, it's more about like the time sucking, and it's also about like the negativity, you know. It's just about like, yeah, this is gonna sound fucked.
Hit me with it.
I haven't really thought about Israel or Gaza when I'm not on my phone every 5 seconds watching a video of this poor kid getting
actually
destroyed.
Clip farmed.
Yeah.
Highlight reel.
Like when I'm not watching these hospitals
Kill
get
cam.
bombed. Yeah. Like it's like I don't really think I wasn't really thinking about Charlie Kirk, you know, on the Monday through Friday when I'm not on social media.
Right, I ate breakfast. I said,
yeah, like when I'm not on social media, I'm thinking about, damn, I got to do this today. I got to do that today. I got to deal with this client. Oh, my wife has an appointment today for the baby. Blah blah blah. All these things. I'm no longer sucked into what's like the big thing to think about, you know. And I think
like Twitter.
Yeah. And I think that's like a big like I don't even know what to call it, because it's a filter when you're not on.
You have stuff to keep you grounded.
Yeah. And then also like I know something isn't as like important or big if it's not in like my news app, you know, if I'm not seeing headlines, like real news headlines about it. So I think that's why like some of the things that were like we spoke about, I didn't really like
even necessarily
like,
think.
Or like why I filtered out some of the things that I don't care about because I didn't see everything. Like I think Rampage Jackson's son got arrested.
Yeah, he
finally
did finally get arrested. Yeah.
And I just saw that today when I finally got on social media. Yeah. Other than that, I didn't hear about it. I didn't know about it. Charlie Kirk thing, heard about it. Jimmy Kimmel thing, heard about it. Insane. Only reason I know about it, my girl telling me.
Yeah.
Insane. But again, I'm not hearing about like these things like
it's like murder suicide.
Before you would hear, nice. Like you would hear about these things.
You'd have to turn on the news.
Yeah, or like you heard about it through local news. Yeah. Like local people like talking about it. Nowadays,
you wake up and get your coffee and be like,
bro, my God, you hear about like everything from every problems everybody's having nowadays.
But I think we're in a blessed position to have items and people to keep us where we are.
Yeah.
Because you know, oftentimes some people, they either have no role models, they have no friends, or they don't have girlfriends or wives.
Yeah.
And it's a lot easier to buy into the internet space. It becomes it becomes your home.
100%.
And you have nobody that cares about in reality. So like you literally like ditch reality behind.
100%. Yeah.
Because you wake up and you go, what's on Twitter? You wake up and you go, because you don't have, like, think about it. Some people don't live with their moms, or maybe their moms passed, or maybe they don't have the best relationship with certain people. So they live by themselves. They probably don't talk to too many people. They stay to themselves at work if they have a job.
Yeah.
So after work, they go home. What? They go to the gym, I guess. What do? They log on, right? You go, what's going on YouTube? What's going on? And that becomes their everyday.
Yeah.
And then if you're every day saying, oh, if I don't make this much, I'm not this. Or, oh, look, I'm a bitch ass nigga.
Yeah.
It becomes a lot harder for you to understand. You view reality through the scope of the internet instead of using 100%. The internet to improve your reality. And that's the shit that's like.
And then you start to compare your life to others. And that's when you start to feel like you're behind, and you start to feel... what's the quote? Comparison is the death of joy. Yeah, the thief of joy. Yeah,
100%.
And it's like, so true.
Yeah, dude, I'll see some like 12-year-old on his 12th Hellcat.
And it's like honestly, I don't compare myself to people when I'm not on social media. I mean, or if anything, I hit a more realistic comparison, because then I'll compare myself to like some of like my successful clients that are business owners, but then they'll tell me, oh yeah, when I was your age, I was in this position. I'm like, oh, okay. So I can compare myself to them at their age. And that's a more realistic, more at least like close comparison versus the
Omega trillionaire.
Yeah, like, exactly. Well, yeah. Or like that one guy that's like, I make $10,000 a day just by clipping on TikTok. Yeah, this is how I do it. And it's like, oh my God, bro. Nice. And I think that's like been the biggest thing is like, I get more time to like, one, not compare and be more prideful in what I'm doing. But then also like, I guess like I get to like focus that time and spend that time on like reading or other things, you know?
You know what it is? You're able to build the traits to help you because you realize you don't need it. A lot of the internet and the shit 100%. That you see, you like, it's not necessary.
Yeah.
Anytime you see somebody talk about a course or a clip or some clothes, like 9 times out of 10, you don't really even need
100%. Yeah.
You know what I mean? 100%. Like, and until you go out in life and just see niggas that you don't even need it and you can just do what you want.
Yep.
Then it's like, it's a lot more freeing.
Yeah.
But until then, you're always going to be shackled by like that
Yeah.
aspect. Like I realized like once I started going outside.
Once I started going outside.
No, mom, like when I was working, like for a long time, I believed like, oh, you know, you got to work and until you make a lot of money, nothing's gonna happen. Like you need that. That's a part of your life. You need work, and you got to work hard and grind. While that remains true, I realized, hey, you know what? I don't have to work 70 hours a week.
Yeah,
I can make my money, save it, and be frugal with the way I spend certain things, and try to be smarter with it, and I'll be all right. Same thing with dressing. Like you're like, oh damn, like I gotta be the flyest thing on the planet. I gotta wear chrome hearts. So, like,
yeah.
Honestly, I could wear some shoes from Walmart. Yeah. And if I style it right, you gonna have some bitches on your dick.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I like I said, even like the whole looks thing, like, you know, the girls with the jeans and stuff like that. I'm not gonna lie. In real life, you'll see some chop shit with some fine shit. Yeah. And it don't really matter. Sometimes it really is just about a person. You don't need it. Imagine you don't need good jeans.
Yeah.
And until you realize that, and separate yourself from that, then it's hard to like, that becomes your reality. But once you realize like, I like the worst of the worst can get whatever you want.
Yep.
Like, and it just takes a little bit of charisma and a little bit of self-care and a little bit of hard work.
Yeah.
Then it's like, you know, shit, nigga, like, but until you gotta break free. Like, I know it sounds so crazy. I'm not like this motivational speech,
but honestly, it's true. Yeah.
Don't use the internet and bet on yourself a little bit sometimes and fuck up. And you'll be all right.
Yeah, and while I think like the internet could definitely be used for good, you know, there's definitely a lot of times where I'll look up something on YouTube, like to help me out or like understand something. That's not what we're referring to. We're referring to like the Instagram that's like
I'm double tapping on big booty hoes on my own. I'm like 7 likes in, 3 hours past. I'm like, what am I doing with my life?
Yo,
you know what I mean? What am I doing with my life?
And then again, the problem then becomes that you, and not you personally, but then you start, like some people start to then see that and start to compare it to what they have in reality. And then they might not be happy with what they have in reality because of this unattainable or like, sometimes not even unattainable, just fake.
It's highlight.
It's just this, it's like
all
this
curated.
Fake. Yeah. And then it's like you start to compare somebody's best day to like maybe your girl or your wife.
They're literally posting
like
LeBron highlights.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there like, why isn't my life a LeBron highlight?
Exactly. Yeah. And then it becomes this crazy thing where like it's just insane. And then like I started to realize that like this week, I was literally on a walk in the park. And I'm like, bro, life feels so much better when I'm not constantly on social media, not constantly like digesting this like negative stuff and like information. Like you said, a lot of it is useless. Like I don't need a lot of this information.
Yeah, right.
But for some reason, I'm taking in so much of this negative information. Like I don't need to know it. I don't need to deal with it. And I think that's part of like the problem with politics too. Is like politics used to be boring, and now like it's like, bro, it's entertaining, and it's always gonna be on. It's always gonna be. Even I was gonna mention this earlier about like fucking Trump, bro. About how like they asked him about like Trump, Charlie Kirk, and how he like they're like, oh, like your friend Charlie Kirk, like he was like he was a big advocate of freedom of speech. So how would he feel of like what's happening to Kimmel? I don't remember the exact quote, but Trump says something like, oh, I wonder how he'd feel about it now or something like that. Like he probably wouldn't be a big fan of it now. Something like that.
Oh, yeah. He was like, we will never know he's dead.
No, this happened. Like he literally chuckles under his breath and goes, I don't know if he would be now. People are like, wait, what's... But again, it's like anyway. Because we have such quick access to this like stuff. It's like you can't even fuck up even a little bit without like
recording the pressure.
Yeah, and now it's gonna be passed everywhere. Like it's just
you know what's freeing? Like I think I've met enough people in my life to realize like nobody's shit. Like everybody is not what you think it is. Like, 9 times out of 10, we're all trash.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm gonna be honest, 10 times out of 10, we're all trash.
Yeah.
Like until you understand that everything that you see is probably not what you see, and it's something a little bit of something else, and everybody's fucked up, whether they're Stephon Diggs or whether they're some artist. Everybody always has something going on, and they're normal ass people, and none of us have any value over anybody else. Like, just because you make music, just because you got money, just because you like, it doesn't make any difference whatsoever. Trevor, and we're all cooked.
You're turning Christian.
No, I'm just saying, like, literally, we are all cooked. There's not one person. Like, we just have different perspective and different lives. And once you understand whatever pertains to you in your context is probably the best thing for you. Yeah. Then it's like none of that internet shit matters.
Yeah, you know, bro. I'm becoming like the worst person to be around too, because like ever since I've been off of social media now, I don't care.
Like, you should get off that social media.
Yeah, and then also like the whole Stephon Diggs and Cardi B. I don't even know what's going on with that. Care. And exactly, I don't care. And I hear about it. I heard about it once from my girl, and I'll be like, why should I know this information? Like, this isn't like, and it's like, all right, bro. Like yeah, I don't know. I get it. It could be fun gossip. Yeah, but, you know what I mean? But I'm like the worst person to be around now, because it's like,
and I'm just like, hey, my brother.
And I'm like,
have you heard about this?
I'm like, bro, you haven't used that time to find out that information to maybe find out something else, you know, find out something useful to help you in your life.
I read like 3 pages of a book, and I'm like, are you sure you don't want to read?
Yo, tell me about it, bro. But yeah, I think that's all for today.
That was good. Today was a good pod. I think this is our best one.
Yeah, low key, yo, we're cooking.